possible. And also, if they are in the middle of an attempt while the timer is running out, they can finish whatever run attempt that they are on. So that they don't have to stop after the 3 hours, basically. So if you're not familiar with Mega Man 4, there's two common starting routes here, and you can see both of them being featured on the screen here. You could do either Pharaoh first or Bright first. It's kind of, I guess it's kind of up in the air as to which one is faster now, since the two records that have been broken in the past couple of days both feature different routes. I guess technically Pharaoh is a second faster now, so we can say that's technically the fastest route. But yeah, so we'll be seeing both of those here. You can see both of the runners who are doing Pharaoh first both grab the balloon power up there, which is a very important utility here in Mega Man 4. And we'll be seeing a lot of usage of the balloon here to basically make some of these screens as fast as possible. The game has a lot of sections that kind of spike with the lag too, as you can see here, kind of in this bright section. They gotta be very careful there, especially in Dustman stage, which we'll see. There's a certain section with some appearing blocks that can lag out pretty good. So with the lag, you get a lot of eaten input. So hopefully we won't see too much of that today. You can see all the runners here are pretty much synced up here. Both all of them having good attempts here so far. You can see Ahmad and Polari here getting to the first Robot Master fight here, the Pharaoh Man fight. It's really, somebody mentioned this the other day, and I thought it was quite interesting, because I never actually thought about it before, but this is really one of the only instances where you'll actually see the Charge Buster being used in the run, which is pretty interesting, against Pharaoh Man.
Oh no.
Ahmad misses a shot there, but does a good job finishing him off. Polari had a good fight there.
Oof. And
both of our Bright first runners got rid of that fight, no problem. The Bright fight is a little interesting. There's certain values of his HP that will cause him to do the like the freeze attack, which you don't want to happen. So you can see they'll do the fight a very specific way in order to avoid hitting those HP values to get that attack. Make it as fast as possible. Yeah, the timer should. Yeah, there we go. It's just a little bit of a cropping issue, but we'll get that taken care of for you guys. So yeah, really the only difference in the routes are the first two stages. So now you can see that Ahmad and Polari are going through Bright, and Von Rufio and Sarantian are now going through Pharaoh. So it's really the only difference between the two stages is the first. I mean, the two routes is the first two stages, but they're basically just flip-flopped. Which is cool though, because in Bright stage, if you do Pharaoh first, you can see some cool uses of the balloon. If you watch a mod screen now, you'll be able to see some of these, which is really cool. I think the Pharaoh stage of doing Bright first is about the same. Ooh.
Oh well, whatever.
It's very tricky with the balloons there, and again with the lag spikes that you can get. It does lend itself to a lot of eaten inputs, unfortunately. I didn't see exactly what happened on a mod screen there, but most likely it was a eaten input due to increased lag there, unfortunately. But I have no doubts that he'll be able to recover from that. Yeah, so yeah, again, in case you guys missed it yesterday, I don't want to keep bringing it up because I want to focus on these guys, but we did have a new world record set during the heats late last night, by Ohang. So shout outs to him again. So we can see Saranti now at the Pharaoh fight. Again, just getting the Charge Buster here. Jumping over his shots. Really easy fight. Another thing about Mega Man 4 too is the fanfare doesn't start until all those like energy blasts after you kill the Robot Master leave the screen. So what we want to try to do is we want to try to kill each robot master as close to the middle of the screen as possible. That will cause the fanfare to start sooner. So there are certain ways to kind of manipulate the robot masters to go towards the middle of the screen. Yep. And then, so here's where all both of the different starting routes will come together here in the third stage. So we go into Ringman, third stage. Yeah, a few of the robot masters in this game have very notorious for some of the RNG that they can give you. Ringman is not one of them. Ringman is completely scripted fight. As long as you do it the same way every time, you'll get the same results, which is nice. We get this mini boss skip here. I wish I knew about this as a kid. You don't even have to fight the hippo mini boss. You could just jump right past him and move on. It's a nice feature. I wish I could go back and tell my 8-year-old self that. Same with this mini boss here too. There's a, well, yeah, you can see there's a, use the charged Pharaoh shot to quickly take care of that enemy there. There's a damage boost strat you can do too. Let's see if a mod goes for it here, where you basically just go up to the ring mini boss and you just take reverse damage boost, just like that. Yeah.
Good morning,
Which is
everybody.
pretty cool.
Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, welcome in, Vic.
This is Vickers. And important that we saw Cybertan killing that Saturn there. That's the most important part. Anyway, I'll just let KLM pick up where he left off. I'll kind of join in a little bit because I'm a little bit disoriented. So, again,
Yeah, no worries.
apologies.
So you can see Sarantian is now coming into the ring fight. So again, this is a completely scripted fight. So again, as long as you do it the same way every time, you get the same results. That being said, it's not completely easy, but you can see that fight too. It kills him right in the middle of the screen, which is exactly what we want to see too. We'll see a lot of the charged Pharaoh shot too.
Yeah, I used to do him first as a kid. If I wasn't worried about speed, it's a really easy fight because this pattern is pretty easy to manipulate. With now just beat him with Buster, but I had no intention of going fast. If you do it fast, it's hard.
Big death.
Yeah. Another thing to mention too about the robot masters is they all hit like trucks. Like if you do a body like contact damage with the robot masters themselves, it's what, 8 points of damage to your health.
8 damage for a body shot, 4 damage for a projectile that they shoot, except
Yeah.
for Pharaoh. Pharaoh's 6 damage for some reason.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. And then so what you have, and I think you have 28 total health. I think it is, right? So
That's right.
like.
Yeah, and that count actually matters a lot in this game because Charge Buster does 3, and so you're always going to end up with like this 1 tick left over, and you'll see like there's a lot of health counting in especially in Bright Fight. Obviously, I'm sure you talked about that.
Yeah. We saw Sarantian go through that laggy block room there in Dust I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, now he's entering the Crusher, which is
infamous. I feel like this is like one of the infamous rooms of this game. Yeah.
You hate it casually. You hate it as a speed run.
Yeah.
Anything that you can try to rush a cycle out of is always hard in speed gaming, and that you take some risky maneuvers to try to get through there. It looked like he did pretty well.
Yeah, he got through there just fine. But it's funny too because it always looks like you're gonna get caught there, even like when you're watching like speed runs of it. Like it never looks like anyone's gonna make it through there, but they always do so.
Yeah, your hitbox actually starts about like where Mega Man's eye line is. So your helmet is not part of your hitbox. So the Crusher can actually come down into your helmet and it looks like you're dead. But
that's interesting.
And when you're sliding, your hitbox becomes like this little sliver that's less than a tile high. And so you'll see some pretty scary slides through the last little section of that Crusher. And it's also interesting, your hitbox comes off the ground while you're sliding. So if there's an enemy that's right on the border of like, you can slide right over their hitboxes. You'll see that in dive stage sometimes. Oh, and Polari gets the Buster zip.
Nice.
Well, he's using the ring, but that's a very nice zip. A runner who was going for it too, but it looks like he missed his setup, and so quick slide by on Vertigo there too.
I believe that's the only zip in the game, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the longest zip that you'll see. There's a
there's the skull too. Yeah,
we're entering a Skull Man on the top left here.
that's right. Yeah, we'll see one here. A quick little. I guess
So
it's more
you
like a
have
clip
to be in
thing.
iframes to go through a wall in this game. So
Yeah.
so you have to time that balloon and that jump so that you'll slide right into that little spiky guy and get damaged, and then it pushes you into the wall. If you mistime that, it's an insta kill. You lose, I think, about 17 seconds just to recycle the stage.
Yeah.
And the zip itself saves about 12 seconds. It's not that long to go around the long way, but who wants to do that?
So, yeah. It's so funny too, like before you get into speedrunning, like 12 seconds, you're like, oh, it's 12 seconds, that's like nothing, right? But like for us, it's like an eternity, right?
Yeah, even at a medium level, 12 seconds is terrible.
Yeah.
There's so many optimizations that'll save a quarter second, but could kill you if you get wrong in this game. But yeah, 12 seconds, definitely go for that. This should be the first trick you learn.
If you guys saw it on mod screen when he did the Dust fight there, Dust is one of those RNG dependent bosses then Ahmad got a pretty crummy pattern there where he does his like sucking attack, which makes him invulnerable. So what you can either do is if you have the health anyways, you can take damage against him to further along the pattern, or you have to wait it out like you had to do there. So
yeah, this skull fight is also completely scripted except for the RNG of how long his skull shield lasts.
Yeah,
and he got a pretty bad pattern there. That was pretty.
Yeah, Surrounding him there. Yeah, he got a long barrier there. But yeah, the fight is completely scripted. So as long as you do it the same way every time, you get the same results. However, yeah, when Skull puts his barrier up, you can't hit him, and it's completely random as to how long it lasts on the screen. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and Skull does whatever you tell him to do. He only reacts to your inputs. He only reacts to pressing B or left and right inputs. And so you can neutral slide all the way up into him, and he just won't move.
Yeah, it's just pretty interesting. That's definitely one of my favorite stages too. I really love the Dust stage. It also features the Brightman's weapon too, which we can talk about, I guess, when we get to Drillman stage. But it's really one of the more powerful weapons in the game. Which is funny because, like, playing it casually as a kid, you never use the Bright weapon because it's virtually useless. But in the speedrun, we'll see it very often.
Yeah, it trivializes a lot of stages, especially Toadman stage, which is like really hard casually, but with a Bright stopper, it kind of just trivializes it.
Yeah.
Soratan's here going through Dive stage. That's another Bright heavy stage. You switch to Bright and you stay in Bright the entire time until you switch to the boss weakness. He has pretty good movement in this stage too. The movement tech in Dive is probably the hardest of the whole game because the underwater physics, you can't jump out of a slide, so you have to know exactly where your slides are going to end. If you're getting too close to the edge, whether you can do what's called a Raiden slide or have to actually cancel, because your slide will pause there. Yeah, your slide will last 4 tiles. So there's little sections that you see that are 4 tiles wide. You just land on the left edge and you can slide and not cancel. And when you get to the right edge, you jump. And when you get it down, it feels really good. But until then, you'll slide into those spikes so many times learning this game.
Yeah, and you can see where Sarantian switched to Skull there. There was a little space in the floor there. If you actually fall down there, it's where the wire weapon is. Which nobody wants to.
Yeah. As the kid,
you don't want to fall down there. Yeah,
there's a precious item you never used.
Now the dive fight is scripted as well, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. It's completely scripted, no RNG.
Yeah,
he just reacts to where you are relative to him.
Right. So and it went by so fast I didn't even see, but so that means it was good for Sarathian. So
yeah, it's a little scary because if you do skull strats like Polari's doing right now, you have exact ammo. So that's a bit worrying about the dive fight. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward.
I think the one tough part about that fight is because there's one part where he does shoot a missile at you, which will take away one of your skull barriers too, right? So you got to be careful about that.
Yeah, that's right. Unless you do the Fasta fight. Fasta does this thing in refights where he doesn't kill the missile, so he gets one extra skull, and so he can do a different fight on Brightman.
Nice.
It's pretty strange.
I love those fastest strats. So yeah, the drill stage here you can see Sarantian going through is basically all Bright Stopper. So how that works is, what is it usually? If you just freeze the screen, it lasts for, what is it, like 5 seconds, I think it is, something like that?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Yeah. But when you're sliding, the timer for the Bright Stopper doesn't deplenish. So you can see it's lasting a lot longer than 5 seconds here in some of these stretches. So as long as you're constantly get good slide chains, constantly sliding while the weapon is in use, you can extend the timer. That's basically what we're seeing there.
Yeah,
which really makes...
It's when you're sliding or taking damage, and you can see this when you first flash Bright Stopper. The screen flashes at like I think it's just 1 frame of white, 1 frame of black, 1 frame of white. And if you see that they start a slide while the screen is white, it stays white for that whole slide. Or if they take damage on that frame, it stays white for that whole knockback animation. So that's a hint that your timer isn't running for the stopper.
Yeah. I can see the drill fight here is again one of those RNG nightmare boss fights. He dives right at the beginning, no matter what. But then after that, you know, he can dive, or he can, you know, stay on the screen. You want him to stay on the screen so you can hit him. If he dives, it's not a good time. But I feel like it's sort of manipulatable, right? Like based on your position or your what am I trying to say? Like your proximity to him. Is that like?
They say that, and I obey it, but I don't know.
It doesn't seem like it, right? Especially when it matters, yeah.
Yeah, it's like if I could stop it, I'd find any way to do it. But
I can see it. The 3 runners here they're virtually synced up here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is an impressive race. Throw 4 people together and they stay this tight for this whole this deep in the game. That's crazy. Simply because this game is so punishing for mistakes. There are so many little mistakes that, you know, you'll just die. In Mega Man 3, it seems like I lose time because I'm smacking into every enemy. In this game, it feels like I lose time just because I'm falling into pits and hitting spikes everywhere.
Yeah. This game is very pit happy, I guess you could call it, yeah. It's worth noting, too, like you see Sarantian going through Toadman stage here. If you're sliding under those little waterfalls, you can't jump out of your slide there as well. It's also if you slide past a ladder in this game too, like you can't jump out of the slide, so you have to be very careful with your movement.
Yeah,
there.
It's basically anything that affects your vertical movement. Like those waterfalls push you downward. Underwater, it gives you less gravity, and on a ladder, you can climb it. So it seems like anything that can affect your vertical movement will make you not be able to jump out of a slide. And I don't know why that is.
I don't know either, but it's really scary, and if you're not aware of it at all times too, a lot of goofy things can happen when you're trying to do some run attempts of this game.
Yeah, the testers call them foreground tiles. I don't really know why, because it seems like the water is behind you. But what do I know?
Yeah, you can see the Toad fight is very easy. Arguably the easiest fight in the game. Completely.
This room that Polari's in has some most technical movement in the game, in my opinion, because you can't slide to the end of some of those platforms due to the fact that the waterfalls will eat your jump if you try to jump out of them. So, like, on some of them, you get all the way to the edge, your toes will actually be touching the next waterfall over, and therefore you can't jump.
That's scary, yeah.
It sucks you down.
And you can also, and if you notice too, like you're using the Bright Stopper here too, so you have to be mindful of your Bright Stopper timer as well.
Yeah, maximizing slides is important.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarantian is through the... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, you can see they skip the mini bosses there too. In the speedrun, you don't even know what the guys look
there's
like.
mini bosses in this room.
Yeah, right, yeah. It's so easy to forget about them. But yeah, use the Bright Stopper, take some damage, and you just slide right through. The mini bosses in this game are basically non-existent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is a wall that spawns behind the snail, but only after he spawns. So if you flash him before he spawns, there's no wall there. And he has a little hitbox that's just one tile at the edge of the thing. So you try to jump up and over that tile, and then turn back and take a back boost. Now, Cossack 1 is a fun stage. It's the only stage with ice. It does affect your movement in a lot of funny ways, especially with menuing too. But that shouldn't be important here because he'll just do this whole thing with Buster until he switches to Balloon.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's also one of the only other instances where you actually see the Charge Buster being used as well. Yeah,
there's a cute little wiggle he does there to despawn that Skull Joe.
Yeah, that's cool. I was been a fan of that strat. I don't know why. It just flows very well.
Yeah, it only saves about a quarter of a second to despawn them. So if your wiggle is more than a quarter second of lost movement, it's not really worth it. But I still do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he's already through Cossack 1. Yeah, he's on Sorrentian is on very good pace here. Yeah, he's coming out strong.
So the Mothraea fight's really hard just because he's got this it's a small hitbox on the Moth, as you can see that little flashing dot, but also the hitbox of a ring is only 1 pixel. Most weapons only have a 1 pixel.
Right, which is funny because it looks like this huge weapon that should be able to hit pretty much anything it comes in contact with. But
yeah, so you're arguing with the refs a lot in that fight. You're like, come on, that ring clearly went through that hitbox.
Yeah, you're throwing your challenge flag out a lot during that fight,
which is why it's easier to do with the Charge Buster, because the Charge Buster has a 3 pixel high hitbox.
Off cycle.
So you get one extra pixel of height for when you shoot it, and that 1 pixel really makes a difference.
It does, yeah, and it's one of those things too. Not as a casual player, you're 1 pixel is this little minuscule thing on the screen, but for speedrunners, it's a huge deal. Cossack 2 will see a lot of balloon usage, which is really cool. You can see just how powerful of a utility this is in this game. Where this section casually, you'd probably use the jet to kind of just slowly go through that screen, and then these screens you just blast through the whole stage. It's a really cool stage to see done at a high level.
Yeah, it's clear that they intended you to use jet to go through it, and they gave you all these ammo fills because you only get 14 balloons, and so you're really stressed for where you're going to place each one.
You're right.
Luckily, they gave you a lot of fill, so you get a lot more than 14 in the Cossack stages.
Polari and Ahmad are through Cossack 1 there as well. Von Rufio's not too far behind.
Yeah, and the ring is a funny weapon because it doesn't always come back to you. So you can lose a lot of time simply by waiting for the ring to be retrieved, and you can't shoot another one until you retrieve it. But there's funny manipulations that I've seen some players try to do RTA, where you can actually double hit the Moth with a single ring. If you know how to manipulate the ring really well, you can do some pretty crazy stuff with it.
So we see the infamous square machine boss that's has been pointed out before. That's not really a square. Yeah. This is the RNG boss, so it can either do 1, 2, or 3 passes through. Obviously, you want the 1-1 is the optimal. He gets a 2-2 there, so that's not terrible.
Yeah, that's the checkers pattern. That's in the checkers old world record.
Yeah. I think any runner would probably take a 2-2 any day.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see no threes.
Yeah. Yeah, making quick work.
How am I still?
You can see the other runners here making their way through Cossack 2. Using their balloons here. A couple different strats there through that room, which is pretty cool. That spike room. Then we have the infamous Cossack 3 auto scroller.
Yeah, so you'll see the players do some weird shooting around in the beginning of Cossack 3. That's just to prove that they're playing live. We have we right before the race we released a set thing that they have to do. It's just a verification. So.
Right.
I honestly, I watched it. I forgot what it was already. I'm glad I'm not racing.
I think it's a left, right, left buster, and then a jump.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Something like that.
It's a shot in one direction, shot in the other, then shot back, and then a full jump.
Let's see. Let's go grab this really quick. Just to be sure.
3-1.
Okay, buster left, right, left, and then jump. Yeah, right at the beginning. Okay.
The square room is kind of ironic. It's the only time that fast is a bad thing in the speed run, because if the boss comes in fast, that's a 3 pass. It's gonna take the longest.
Yeah. You gotta be careful too when it passes through, because if you get stuck in the wrong spot, you can actually take damage as it's passing through, which I have unfortunately learned the hard way before.
Yeah, and Cossack is a stage that you just intentionally take a lot of damage. So unless you
Right.
get what would be called an unlucky health pickup, but
Yeah.
it relieves a lot of stress to pick up some health. But
Yeah, and
it slows you
unfortunately, almost right on cue, we saw that on Polari's screen there. Just unfortunately took too much damage there.
oh, goodness. Oh, and he game over, so he's right back to the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, either way, so in the Cossack and the Wily stages too, the checkpoints are really unforgiving. Normally, as the case in Mega Man games, if you make it to the boss and you end up taking a death, like the checkpoint's usually right by the boss room or in the boss corridor.
I think that ends up giving him like 2 or 3 more balloons though, because he doesn't have his depletion from Wily. But where to use them is probably hard. He does that really hard strat where he jumps the little buzzsaw at the bottom. Anybody playing around this game, try that. See if you can do that as fast as Polari does.
Makes it look easy, yeah. Okay, so Sora's coming into the what's this boss called? I don't know the name of this boss.
The cockroach crawlers.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Cab calls them the Tektites, and I just kind of stole that.
But there's a cool double hit there. You can see this fight's really cool. Kind of a nightmare casually, but with the speed run, you can see it makes quick work of it there. It's a really good fight there.
There is RNG, and he got the fast pattern. Without lag, there would be no RNG, but when the boss can either shoot 1 orb or 4 little bullets, and 4 little bullets lag the game to a noticeable rate, it loses a whole second.
Yeah. It's funny too because like when you hear people talking about lag in Mega Man games, usually the first one that comes up is Mega Man 3, which is notorious for its lag. But I honestly, I think this one lags just as much.
I think it does, and also the lag is also RNG based, which is more frustrating. Because if you know there's lag, that's okay. Like everybody's gonna get that. But if a boss fight where Ahmad's in, and you're just like hoping the RNG doesn't lag the game, that's
right. Yeah.
Crummy feeling.
Especially if you're expecting one thing to happen, right, and then you get this lag spike, and it could just ruin your inputs. Yeah.
So he's got that orb. Like watch the speed of the cockroach. If another, I don't want to curse any other runner to get the 4 bullets, but it's just a second, and it's probably going to happen because it's 50-50 in 4 runners.
Oh man.
But you'll just watch the speed of the cockroach just slow to a crawl.
Yeah. Let's see.
They usually are the second phase is booking it in theory.
We'll see what kind of pattern Von Rufio gets here. Sora's moving his way through Cossack 4. The stage is pretty uneventful, I feel like. It's probably one of the easier stages in the game. There's really not much that's happening there.
Yeah, it's got a neat little bit of tech, depending on if you want to go for a very minor lag reduction strategy, where you can like save a charge on a buster. And it's the only like non-intuitive part of the stage. Everything else, it's like you do what you kind of think you should. Yeah.
Now the Cossack catcher here, the boss of Cossack 4, is an interesting boss because what is it? He doesn't move if you're sliding, or he doesn't move left and right if you're in your slide animation.
Oh, no.
That's right.
So you can see the strat here is to just keep sliding against the wall, and then only getting up to get your shots in.
Yeah, and this screen is the only difference between the 2 versions,
Oh, no.
the Japanese and the
Really?
US version. The text is a little bit faster, but also the AI is a little bit different, where as soon as the fight starts in the US version, Cossack will move over to the left, where he kind of hesitates a little bit in the Japanese version.
Yeah, cool. It's interesting. A lot of these Mega Man games have just like slight, subtle differences between the 2 versions, but sometimes make a big difference. Yeah. We got HJA on the screen here now. He is let's see, just getting into Cossack 4. It looks like we'll see once his stream loads up here.
All right, let's go Mets. Wily won.
Yeah, the big reveal. Oh my God, it's Dr. Wily again. You guys believe it?
So these Mets are fun.
So yeah, what is it? So some of them take 1 hit. The spinning ones take 3 hits to kill.
Yeah, so 3 hits is either 1 charge buster or 3 lemons, and so
right, yeah.
This one down here at the bottom is a spinning one, so they charge up for him.
Yeah, it's kind of a goofy stage. Yeah, it's tough though because then you get to this underwater section with all these spikes around, and I feel like it's just one of those stages casually where it's just a nightmare.
Yeah, that little tiny jump, that your low gravity with a spike ceiling is always scary.
All right, so you see Von Rufio taking care of the Cossack catcher here. He's a little close to him, but it looks like he's going to have to do some work around here to take him out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because you want to shoot that last shot, which brings him down to 2 health on the left side of him, because you do have to walk back to a set spot. And
right,
so
for the
walking each time.
All right, and then we're getting into the boss of Wily 1 here in the top left.
Metal Daddy. So he's weak to ring, and you want to jump when he's landing so you don't get frozen, kind of like the Gutsman fight. A lot of bosses in the end game are weak to ring, so ring ammo is very important to conserve. So while you do want to just blast them as much as you can, it's also important that you don't try to shoot that last shot where it's just going to be wasted.
Yeah. This is worth just a quick reminder again. So we're doing a series of qualifying heats to qualify for the main bracket tournament. This is the 9th and final heat. So you can see on the middle of the screen there, the top 32 times will make it to the final bracket. We have 7 runners here in this heat who will be trying to qualify for the main tournament. Each runner does have 3 hours to get in as many run attempts as possible. Their best time within the best finished run within those 3 hours will be their qualifying time.
Except they're encouraged to finish their very first run, which is what we're on now.
Right.
So it's like a race environment at the moment, but that race feel will be depleted in a little bit.
All right, so we got Amada's on the Metal Daddy fight now.
Here's the worst ladder of the game. Oh, all right, you got it.
That ladder is really goofy. Yeah.
It's only killed me once, but it made me cry.
That is an incredible clip too. Yeah. So this is this game's version of Rush Jet the stage, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of goofy because you don't want Rush Jet for most of it, so you're just like deploying him in places where he's not going to lag too much.
Yeah.
You're trying to. The best thing to do is deploy him high so he despawns there, but that's a really tight window, so that was a much safer strategy just to deploy him at ground level to make the jump. Yeah,
and you can see there was a couple of times there you used them to get a jump in a little higher, and then one point to jump around that corner, which is it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, so he's just cruising over these spikes. It's a little slower because you're losing some slides, but it's definitely a safe way to go, especially if you're on good pace. You don't want to blow it, just a silly mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he rain flushes as soon as he jumps in that room, therefore he can shoot a rain flush before the boss's health even fills. Because in this game, if you do damage to a boss while their health is filling, it just instantly jumps their health up to 28 minus a little bit. And so it just fills up that last little bit.
That's totally worth it too, because the health, the refill, or like the initial fill for the bosses in this game takes forever. It takes so long.
It's a noticeable time chunk, and like the menuing in this game is slower than the first 3, and so even that extra menu, even though it's longer than the other 3, it still matters.
Yeah. So you can see also use the drill right away too, and once you explode the drill, it basically gets rid of the boss's entire hitbox except for where you do damage, so you're able to just stand inside of the boss and just do damage to him. Yeah,
it's kind of weird because he has a different. His hitbox is different from his hurtbox. His hurtbox is this big large rectangle that's sitting on the floor, and his hitbox is that tiny little glowing gem.
Right.
And so the drill for some reason erases the hurtbox. So at that point, you can only get hurt by his projectiles.
Yeah, we're coming into the Mega Man staple here, the refights, which in this game it can be disastrous because of some of the bosses' terrible RNG that they can give you.
And so Mod opted not to do the drill because it is slower because it has that extra menu, and it also is a lot of fun to do properly. You lose a lot of fun in the game if you cheat that fight. Not that I'm not saying I'm above cheating that fight. I do it every run, but it is more fun when I'm practicing just to do the ring fight.
So the refights in this game are really cool for as far as like routing purposes go, because you're trying to minimize the amount of times you're going into your menu, and you also see different weapon usage as you would see than you see during like the normal like Robot Master fights in the beginning, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I'm really a fan.
It's one of the few where you carry one weapon into a fight and start with it, and then switch to another. Like he'll use Skull on Dive Man, but he's gonna save some ammo because he's gonna start the first little bit of Bright with Skull as well, because of the health manipulation of Bright Man. He only flashes you on certain multiples of 4, so if you do an odd number of 2 damage hits, his health will never be a multiple of 4 when you're doing 4 damage hits with Rain Flash.
Right, so yeah, usually what the standard is like 5 hits with the
5,
Skull.
if you're faster, it's 7.
Yeah. And it's funny, I think on his fastest PB on the comment on there is like finally nailed the 7 hit, the 7 skull.
Well, it's a weird manipulation because you have to get the 6th hit when he's not about to change his attack. Because if he's about to change his attack and you hit him with the 6th hit, he'll flash you.
Yeah, and here too with the drill fight, you can get that flash or what's the weapon called? Rain.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah,
the Toadman's weapon.
Yeah, Toadman's weapon does 1 damage, but it also damages him when he's underground. So
right, but it also and then what it does too is it takes away 1 less missile that you have to hit him with too.
Right, it goes back to that health counting I was talking about, where 28 is a multiple of 3 plus 1, and each dive missile does 3 damage. So you'll have that 1 left over. So if you can get rid of that 1, that's a free hit. So, like, if they had 29 health or 28 health, that Rain Flush wouldn't do anything.
No.
Right. The ring refight's just slightly different. It's still, again, the same every time, but you can't come into the teleporter charging the Pharaoh, so you just have to slightly alter the way you do that fight versus the first fight through the Robot Master stage.
Right, and that makes it hard to manipulate where you're not going to pick up the health fill. But sometimes it's good to pick up the health fill because you want health for Dustman, because sometimes you just have to smack into him to stop his suck pattern.
It's on the source screen there. You got perfect RNG on the dust fight. No sucks. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, it'd be better if you jumped towards the center, but what are you gonna do? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. So he's about to do another quick fill. He's gonna do damage to the second phase as the health is filling up by killing the first phase with the first cycle of drill, because drill has a 2-phase weapon, right?
That was a really fast fight.
I expected to have a lot more time to explain that, but he was just barreling through that.
Yeah, that was really fast. Yeah, and I believe so his PB is 38.51. So with a good Wily capsule pattern, this could actually be an actual PB here on the top left. So, well, let's keep an eye on that. All our other 3 runners here making their way through the refights. So not too far behind here. So we're getting some really good attempts here right at the beginning. This is cool.
So this, I think this is the first game that starts the last stage casino, because you get, it's not as bad as some of the later games, but the RNG in this game, like in this last phase, really can get to you, because he's going to spawn in a mystery location, and some of the locations you can get double hits. If he spawns like basically right above you, that's perfect, but it's kind of coincidental. So you kind of hang out there, and
there's a double.
Yeah, got a double.
Yes. So it's cool property with the weapon here. Oh wow.
Shoot, double. Perfect fight. Oh no.
Oh no.
I jinxed it.
That's okay.
And he had to pause. Oh no.
No. Oh no.
So now
That's
Ring only
unfortunate.
does 1 damage, and you can only damage him in certain locations. So he has to wait for Wily to spawn in a place where he can hit him, and he's got to do it.
He's
twice.
running low on Ring here too.
Yeah, and now.
Oh.
Okay,
one more.
Okay, now he's going to be really careful. Yay!
Got it. Oh wow. On the last ring too.
Still a good time.
That stressed me out. It's too early for that. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's going to qualify him, it looks like. So
Yeah, so yeah, with 7 runners here, so what is it basically? So 7 spots up from the bottom is safe. So that's going to get him to the tournament at least. So even if he is not able to get a better run than that, it's good enough to get him into the next phase. So GG's there.
Yeah, and pulling out a run like that on your first run, that's pretty promising for the.
I mean, yeah, it was basically it was a PB. Yeah, one missed hit there away from close to it would have been like over a 10-second PB. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, perfect fight. I'm sorry
close,
about
anyway.
that. I called it too early because he landed where he would get that last double.
We got a mod on the screen here coming into the Wily fight here. Again, a really good pace here. We'll see what kind of. So yeah, it's cool about the ferro weapon. So when you charge it up, if you do damage with it before you shoot it, it basically it stays there. So you're able to then shoot it afterwards too. That's which is allowing us to do these double hits here. You can see there.
Yeah, and you'll see sometimes runners if they're low on GG.
Yes, GG. It's good.
You'll
That's
see
a
runners,
solid first run.
If they're low on ammo, they'll pause there because you can actually buffer the shot. You can buffer the orb by just holding down B as you're coming out of the menu, and it takes no ammo, provided that you have some ammo.
Right, yeah. Because otherwise, if you don't pause, if you go to charge it again, you have to push the shoot button, which is going to deplenish some of the ammo first, yeah.
Yeah, so if you never release your orb, you'll never lose ammo, but at the same time, it causes a slower fight if you're only hitting him with this orb and not trying to do your shots, because you can't, depending on where he spawns, you can't even hit him with the orb.
So you see HJ and Polari here virtually synced up on this fight. Von Rufio's coming into the Wily fight here as well. So with a mod with a 40-26, again, same situation here. We'll move him on to the next round. So GG's there. A mod's one to watch though because he's been on 37 pace a couple times from what I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm be surprised if he's able to pull out a better run here. So. The timer was it looks like our heat timer reset. I think we were just about an hour in, if I'm not mistaken.
And just a technical note, when we swap in new players, we will buffer their screen for about 30 seconds to make sure we're not getting any buffers in any critical times. So that's why some screens will come in frozen.
Yeah, we'll get that timer fixed in just a little bit, guys. GG's to Von Rufio, 41-43. Solid first run, and let's see, what is that? 41-43. I put that
double cap
31st. Ooh, two good positions there at the start. HJ tried to sneak in that double hit there, a little greedy, but good solid finish there. GG's to HJ. Polari's gonna look to do the same here shortly. Oh, just a little bit low on that last hit there. Should be able to get him here. Let's see. Yeah, GG.
Like a 45, 42, 45. Okay, good job.
These are some really solid runs to start here. Wow.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see them, like all 4 of the highlighted runners, like be completely on pace, at least through the 8 robots.
Yeah.
That's a pretty rare race condition.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That wasn't a pun. I'm sorry.
These Mega Man games are really tough to race because there's not like a heavy amount of RNG. There's just enough to kind of fluctuate things, especially in this game. But also, like any deaths are going to cost you I don't know, seemingly at least 20 seconds, sometimes more. And
yeah, it seems like the one of the easiest deaths to take in the game is the first pit in the checkpoint room in Cossack 1. And so that I think costs about 17 seconds. I can't imagine a faster turnaround.
Right. Yeah. So it's a really cool. I've been a fan of watching races of this game since I got into speedrunning basically. So it's a lot of fun. So we got is it Icky or is it Itchy? I want to say Icky, right?
Oh, I've been saying Ichi, but
Itchy. Okay.
I don't know
if we can get confirmation on that.
I was in a stream. I was talking to him. I should have asked how to even say his name. Well, he also wasn't mic'd, so it would have been.
Oh yeah, but so yeah, I'm the Wily fight here, the Wily machine, I guess, version of this game.
Yeah, he was he's coming along. I was watching him. He's obviously new to Mega Man 4, but when he was learning stuff, his movement was really good for his level. I was really surprised. Like,
Ooh, it looks like. Yeah, I think we got too many hits. Yeah, unfortunately took a death there. Yeah, for a newer runner to this game, you know, like the PB is currently a 46:37. It's really it's good time.
Yeah, it's like
This game's
things
hard.
like he was doing the Bright fight, and when you're fighting Bright, you kind of want to hop close to him to jump those 3 bullets. But he was farther away. I guess he just didn't have the timing down, but he was still dodging all those bullets. It was like really impressive movement. I was like, he's doing it the hard way, but he's making it look really good.
And we got Zio on the bottom right here into our square machine fight here. Again, health is really tough on this fight. Oh, got another death on the machine there, unfortunately. I think at this point, ammo becomes a concern. And,
yeah, he's out of ring, and so he has to buster him, and that makes the timing a little bit harder. You can actually stand, like, basically against the skeleton's bottom lip, and he won't be able to hit you.
Right, yeah, it looks like we're going to see that
so
here. He's a little too close there, but yeah, there we go.
So it's slow, but very safe.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see that here.
You know, because everything does a ton of damage in this game.
Yeah. That's what makes this game really hard, is you have the same amount of health as you do as every other Mega Man game, but everything just hits for so much damage.
Yeah, and at least in Mega Man 3, they force you to get an E-Tank.
Yeah, right.
There are some pretty quick E-Tanks to get in this game. There's one at the very beginning, Cossack 1, hidden in the snow to the left. So if you slide all the way to the left of the screen, you'll pick up one. That's, I think, probably 2 or 3 seconds out of your way.
Yeah.
And the fastest is Cossack 4.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's after the square room, and that's where a lot of runners new to the game would want an E-Tank anyway, because you're going to be low on health in that fight.
Yeah, that Cossack 1 E-Tank's another one of those where I wish I could go back in time and tell kid me about.
Just buy a Nintendo Power, come on. The secrets were all there. Well, I don't think Nintendo Power had the mini-boss skips.
Nah. Alright, so we're going to try to do this machine fight buster. I don't think you can't do the same strat here. Basically, the second form just shoots relative to where your location on the screen is at the time when the bullet's forming, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and this is another place where, where knowing your pixel hitboxes matters, because you can't hit the Wily machine with the lemon just because a full height jump with a 1 pixel hitbox won't reach him. So you need that 1 extra pixel of height you get when you charge up your buster.
Yeah, and you can say unfortunately it's game over, which in this stage is a nightmare because you have to do all the refights again. You do get a free E-Tank though, so that's good.
Yeah, plus he gets to miss all these weapon fills. That's a time save.
That's true too, yeah. Alright, and then it looks like Zio is through the square machine fight, so we'll be going on to the next stage. Yeah, we can see on the left side, Polari and...
a bit of a sink.
Yeah. Already 3 stages in.
Yeah, that ring mini-boss, if you mess up a little bit, it's kind of hard to get back on your game.
Yeah. It's pretty tight too. Like there's not much wiggle room as far as like which pixels actually work there. It seems too.
Right. It's a lot safer just to do it the kind of intended way, where you back to the right side of the screen and try to time your shot. But even then, it's hard because it's RNG to how wide he's going to open.
Right. Yeah. That too. Yeah.
And the smallest opening has a really tight.
It's really tight. Yeah. So Polari just decides to reset after that point, which is one of the benefits of this format here, is that you have enough time to, if you make a mistake that's worth resetting, you have the option to do so. I really love this format for like competitions and stuff. It's really interesting. It really I don't think it really highlights the runners, but it gives all the runners an opportunity to kind of showcase themselves in the best way possible too, and get their best possible time. Especially in a game like this where RNG can dictate your time, and also, like we were saying earlier, any mistake can cost you a bunch of time. So it's so much better than like a one-off race, in my opinion. And it's really fun to watch too.
It certainly makes a lot of sense for qualifiers where you want the best abilities to make it to the next phase of the tournament. And so, like, one run is not going to showcase your abilities in this game.
Exactly, yeah.
And neither is a PB, to be honest, because if you my PB would look like I'd be qualifying, but I'm sure if I tried, I would not qualify.
Right, exactly, yeah. And I know, like, for Polari too, like, I know his PB's from a few years ago. I don't know how much he's been playing since then, but he seems to be in pretty good form. So he's been playing a little bit, but he's been around for a really long time. He's very well versed in all the classic Mega games, so I'm not surprised.
He's got a top-notch time in every all of 1 through 6. I would say probably Mega Man 2 is his main. The same for Ahmed, but they seem to be the favorite in this heat as well.
Yeah, and also about Polari too, he's also just like a very prominent member of the community in general. Like, anytime there's a question about something in one of the games in Discord, he's always like one of the first to have an answer.
He'll share his knowledge for sure.
Yeah,
and he's got a wide.
He knows a lot. Yeah,
exactly.
So let's see. Itchy on the top right, going through the refights again, with the new ammo refills after the game over. Zio is going on to Cossack 4, I believe. Strontian's coming to the dust fight here. Let's see what kind of RNG we get. He's just jumping around, which is good. Killed him close to the middle of the screen. Good fight. This is worth mentioning again, just for anybody new joining us. So what this format is we had 9 separate heats that the runners signed up for. You only have the opportunity to compete in one heat. Each runner in each heat has 3 hours to do as many run attempts as they can fit in within the 3 hours, and your best finished run is the run that counts towards your qualifying time. And you can see the standings in the middle of the screen here. The top 32 times will advance to the bracket, the main tournament. So we have 7 runners competing in this heat. This is the 9th and final heat. So the 7 runners here are going to be doing their best to qualify here.
Orotan is having a bit of a trouble with this zip. It's nerve-wracking. If you miss it once, I mean, in theory, it shouldn't be hard to set up, but you start questioning your muscle memory.
I want to use an E-tank there, but we unfortunately don't have one, so just going to take a death there. And it looks like we're going to get a reset too. Yeah, that's probably smart, yeah.
Yeah, especially with his current heat PB.
Yeah, again, it's like 39:11 was the time. 1 hit away from like a 38:40 something, so on the last fight.
Did Polari run out of Pharaoh? Oh, he didn't have enough health to go through the last mini boss, which is almost a death sentence, to be honest, because if he opens his rings wide, it is nearly impossible to try to shoot him, to land the hit and
avoid the damage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you had enough health to take a hit, you wouldn't have been in that situation to begin with.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have tried to hit it anyway.
The Ringman stage is arguably one of the hardest stages in the game, in my opinion. There's a lot of precise balloon usage in the beginning, but you do end up. Sometimes you can take a lot of damage through the level too, and end up in a situation like that. So,
yeah, I think the best you can do is hope for a little health drop. Like that allows for the optimal strats. Without a little health drop, like your routing is going to be suboptimal.
Alright, so we got Itchy here on the final fight. So we were able to make it through the Wily machine this time. Got a nice double hit there.
Double.
And another double.
GG.
54-11. That yeah, it's tough too, especially like it's really easy, like especially taking the game over like on the Wily machine there and having to do all the refights over again. Being in that position before in a race, like it can really like wear on you, like it can really kind of like put you on tilts a little bit. So being able to go through that, finish the run anyways, despite that is a feat among itself in my opinion. So
yeah, the refights are about a 5-minute stage.
Yeah.
As a starting level.
So
I think we saw, what was it, Prissy got like a 420x or something on the refights yesterday.
Yeah,
that was
like
absolutely ridiculous. You shouldn't expect that as a runner. So
yeah, yeah.
But even then, that's still the longest stage. So taking a game over there is the worst possible thing.
Yeah, but it's so demoralizing to have to just do all the refights all over again after doing them all the first time. But so yeah, just congrats to finishing that run, going through it the second time with no issue.
Yeah, because I mean, if you run out of drill, there's really not much you can do. That fight is so hard to do with Buster.
Yeah. So we see Z on the bottom here, going through Wily 1, getting through the water section here, just okay. Yeah. Looks like a mod's on really good pace here. I see a lot of golds there. So the runners are using new splits for this competition, if you will. So they're not running against their PB splits, which makes it a little easier just to track their times throughout this heat. But you can see a mod there has looks like all gold splits there. So every stage he's done so far has been the best he's done today, which is amazing.
So Polari did a really nice fast climb there. And I've learned new lingo, like they call that now the winter solstice, the fastest you can get from day to night.
That's a good name, yeah.
Yeah.
And
if you're having a bad time, you call it the summer solstice.
I guess, yeah. So for me, it'd be just like the endless summer, right? Just on the screen forever. That's really hard. It's a really tough climb there to do fast. So. See if we can get this squeak through here on the ring. Yep, perfect. See a mod making his way through Drillman stage using the Bright Stopper here. Again, just completely overpowered weapon in the speed run. Another thing too about the Bright Stopper, which is cool, is it can go through some enemies, like I guess like shield defense, if you will. Yeah. So that happens to Skull Joes. You can just buster them down. It doesn't delete these guys' shields, which is kind of frustrating. The little turrets. I wish it did. The Flash Stopper, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No, it's Time Stopper. What game is this? Yeah, so the turret skulls, it deletes their back shields and the Skull Joes. I think that's the two that are the most... Oh, also the Dust Man little flying shields. It deletes their shield properties as well.
Oh, right, yeah, those common Mega Man enemies. Let me see. I don't even know what they're called.
Alright, Polari has exact ammo to do this fight. Yeah, you need 5 ticks of ammo going in. And he's fine. So if he would have hit him too early where this charge wasn't fully charged, like he would have had to like either pause buffer or reset.
Yeah, that's
well, I guess he probably wouldn't reset because his current time's not indicative of the skill level, so he probably could refine that time fine. And that's an interesting calculation you have to do in this kind of qualifying environment. It's like, yeah, this is not close to my skill level, but I could reset and try to grind it out. But you don't want to get stuck in a loop.
Yeah, it's an interesting position you get put in because again, like if you're 7 spots up from the bottom is going to guarantee that you make it to the tournament, but at the same time, getting a lower seed is not to your advantage most of the time because it's going to pit you against a higher seed, especially if you have the skill to get a lower time to get a higher seed. So it's kind of like, it's good if you get a time that's good enough to qualify, but then you also want to make sure that you're getting your best seed possible. So
So I just looked at the standings. I'm the worst commentator ever for being out of the loop. Is that number 1 time the world record?
Yes. So last
Holy
night,
crap.
yeah, last night during the qualifier last night, Ohan, beat the record by 1 second during the qualifier. I didn't see it live. I saw it when I woke up this morning. I was like, wow, it's incredible.
So
I was saying this earlier too. Like I think it was like the first or second heat. I said in chat, I'm like, I was like, wouldn't be surprised if the world record got broken during the duration of the tournament, and it was broken twice. Within like 2 days or so.
Yeah, that's bizarre. I was actually gonna I was thinking there probably wouldn't be too many 37s, like maybe 137 in this format, because that's a hard time to get in a race situation. But
yeah, when Not Rally put it to 38.09, I even said a couple times, I'm like, I'd be surprised if anybody even beats that. But we've obviously seen a few runs beat that now. Because that's tough. A 37 is a really good time in this game, and especially like in this format where you only have a set number of time to get those runs in. Like that's impressive.
I guess if you never practice safety strats, your RTA and your race strats are the same.
True. Yeah, we've seen some incredible times, and just throughout the duration of like preparing for the tournament, we've seen a lot of progress from a lot of these runners, new runners, older runners who've come back to the game just to improve their times like tremendously. It's been really awesome to see. It's been a really showcase for not only the community but just for this game in general. Like we've seen, clearly we've seen 2 new records, which I believe this was the longest standing classic mega record now.
Yeah, I think it was at least 1 through 6. I don't know anything about the non-NES ones.
So it's been a really awesome showcase so far, and we're just in the beginning. We're not even at the tournament yet, guys. Like, it's just a qualifier, so. Make sure you stay tuned here to Speed Gaming to watch the tournament unfold. So the bracket phase will start on I believe it's June 12th. So after this heat, we'll have our final 32. They'll be seeded according to their position on the chart here, and then the brackets will start up on June 12th.
So here's a lesson from Looking Toad. If you're hoping to get a world record in the game, don't organize a tournament around it, because that's not going to turn out in your favor.
Yeah. We've awoken a lot of sleeping giants, if you will, in the form of you got Ohan and Becco here, and then even Prissy too is closing in, and then Colonel Fatso is never far behind from any game that he's playing as well. So,
Yeah, Colonel Fatso was number 2 not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Gotta play this safe.
Yeah, so we see Zio doing the taco trash fight here.
That looked like that drill missed. Did it miss? Yeah, it missed. So look, he's getting hit now because he didn't realize his drill missed.
It looks like he's trying to squeeze it through, but yeah, unfortunately that hurt box.
he was just damage racing him, yeah, and lost that race.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. That's a time loss.
All right, so let's keep an eye on Ahmad too in the top right here, who's still on. It looks like some really good pace here. I can't see exactly what the number behind his last run is, but he's making good way through his run here.
Asking me to take my eyes off of a skull stage is going to be tough competition.
Yeah.
If someone's playing skull stage, I'm going to watch that.
I know, yeah. Like I said before, Skullman stage is definitely my favorite stage in the game. Not only to watch, but to run through as well. It's a lot of fun. It's got cool balloon usage. It's got that clip or zip, whatever you want to call it, right at the beginning. And then it's got the cool flash stopper usage here towards the end. Here's where you can see the shield. So these guys, normally, if you shoot them with a lemon shot, it just makes them kind of go down, like it kind of crumbles them, doesn't kill them right away. But you can see with the flash stopper active, you can just shoot your shots and kill them as you would any other enemy.
And they have 3 HP, so they're killed with 1 Mega Buster shot. But a lemon will just collapse them. But it's weird. If you flashed and shot them twice, they'd have 1 HP. But as soon as the flash stopper wears out, they go back to 3 HP.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I didn't know that.
Interesting and useless. My knowledge of this game.
So we need at least 3-1 here.
It's really cool how like when you play these games enough, like you pick up just so much like just useless knowledge about them. But it's interesting. I don't know. Well, I find it interesting anyway.
That's 3.
But I've always been a fan of the series since I was a kid. So
yeah, my favorite useless bit is useless in the NES RTA, where you can rush coil through a teleporter in the refights, and your little teleporter animation coils up, and that's been getting some traction in the Discord about it lately. I was like, I love that glitch. If you have fast weapon swap like you do in AC, and it does make it worth it too. But in this game, it's just a useless little glitch.
Alright, so mods through the square machine with 1 tick of health there. As you can see, it's always a scary fight. I didn't see the pattern that he got, but again, still looks like he's on really good pace according to his splits there compared to his last finished run.
Yeah, Zio lost all his rings, and so he had to try to bust her taco trash.
Yeah, and Zio is another one who kind of like came back from a hibernation, I guess, if you will. Because they ran this game, I believe their PB on the leaderboard is from like 2012. So somebody who's run the game before, but like a long time ago, has come back for this tournament, which is again, this is just so cool to see. Tournaments usually bring out, pretty much, I don't want to say everybody, but like it brings back so many people too, which is really cool.
Yeah, because I'm unfamiliar with Zio. I did not know that he was before my time.
Yeah, I didn't either. But then I saw them, some of the things they were talking about in Discord, like that they ran this game a long time ago. So it's really cool. Cool to see. A decent time too. The PB was 46.52, which back in 2012, even now it's pretty solid time. But back then it's probably, I had to be competing for pretty high up there on the leaderboard, I would imagine.
Yeah, I might have to watch that video. I love to see the old strats, like dust strats and skull stage. All kinds of crazy stuff.
Some interesting balloon usage here through the stage here by Zio too, which I don't think I've ever seen before.
Balloons are faster in this stage, but you just never have them.
You just don't have them, yeah.
And they don't save enough time to warrant not using them in Cossack 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bro.
Alright, so Ahmad is going through Cossack 3 here. Auto-scroller. And because it is an auto-scroller, there's no real way to speed it up. He lost that platform there, though. That's going to be a problem.
Can't believe you say there's no way to speed this up. This game is so laggy that there are actually lag reduction strats you'd want.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And so this platform, like it lags regardless of what's on screen, but every time there's something else, it's just lagging more. So you want to kill the Saturns as fast as possible, get those platforms off the screen as soon as possible. I honestly don't know how much it adds up to.
It adds up quickly. I mean, especially, I don't know exactly for this game, but I know in Mega Man 3, for instance, like lag reduction strats can add up over the course of a run. If you saw Ahmad's face there after that section, you can tell how kind of relieved he was. It was quick thinking there to switch to Jet there too. Because once that platform went away, I don't know. I was thinking it was kind of over there. Yeah. So that was really quick thinking there. And again, Ahmad is a tremendous classic Mega Man speedrunner, so I'm not surprised that he was able to think on the fly there.
I lost 7 seconds in the auto-scroller. No!
Alright, so we see Polari on the top left, doing the dive fight here, without any issues. I can't really tell what kind of pace he's on right now due to his splits, but seems to be on pretty good pace there.
I should not
see what kind of pattern Sora gets there. We got a dive from Drill Man. I guess you could say Drill Man's the real dive man, right?
Yep. That's Fatso's splits, at least.
Yeah.
Hope they don't hear
it. Fatso usually has the best split names. It's always interesting. Getting a lot of dives here, yeah. About three dives.
See, at the end of the fight, you're going to walk to the middle of the room. Like, if you just stood still, you would animate a walk to the center, then a jump up to grab the little death orbs to get the boss power. But so you'd want to end the stage as close to or end the fight as close to the center as possible. But there's also in this game a magic pixel where if you're actually on the pixel you would walk to, you skip the jump animation entirely, and that saves I think 55 frames. It might be dependent on the room. I think it will save more time in dive because you have that floaty animation, less time in Pharaoh because you're already behind the platform. But it's still time. And also in Pharaoh and dive, you can actually jump up to the very center of the screen. If you do that right as the fanfare starts, if you're on the exact X and Y pixel when the fanfare starts, the death orbs will just kind of swirl around and you'll just miss that animation. That saves another half second.
That's cool, yeah. Yeah, 55 frames, that is basically a second in this game, since it's a 60 frame per second game.
That was a rough fight.
So again, a second to the normal person is like nothing. A second to speedrunners is an eternity. So anytime you can save close to a full second, you're trying to take advantage of that as much as you can.
Yeah, and there's also 8 of the magic pixels.
Yeah. So again, especially these classic mega games are really infamous for not only those kind of things, but also movement based. You ask any classic mega runner who's been running for a while, and they'll tell you the easiest way to save time is to just get better at your general movements, because it adds up over the course of a run.
Yeah, like I was so focused on strats when I was learning the game. I was trying to do all these hard strats, and sometimes I'd find if I'd pull them off and I would time it against a faster run, I was like, I'm still losing a ton of time.
Yeah,
it's bizarre. Just so a runner with better movement can use a lot worse strats and still do better than a runner that's pulling out all the stops, but still can't chain their slides properly. Yeah, and especially I was gonna say in the sliding megas too. The movement is so important. Actually, that's a funny comment. Yeah, Mega Man 4 is 60 frames per second, except when it's not, which is often. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Oh no!
You get those lag spikes in this game. It really slows it down. But yeah, it's good that you mentioned that too. So not only do you want to kill the robot masters in the middle of the screen, but you also again want to position yourself in the middle of the screen best you can. Yeah, because the fanfare does not start until all their little death orbs leave the screen. So if you can kill them in the center of the screen, they leave the screen faster because they have to travel less of the screen. All right. I think it looks like Von Rufio. Did he take a death here in the auto-scroller?
Come on,
I didn't see that.
I didn't either. It looked like it because he started from the checkpoint here, right? Yeah. And according to his reaction, 1836 out of Toad, which is a really that's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, 17x is possible. So it's not like
still not the daddy I know.
It's not world record pace, but that is still
but it's
really good time.
Maybe not.
Especially from the first run that they had too was on a pretty similar pace. I think it was even faster than that first run, which was close to like 10 seconds off PB. I walked off the platform. Yeah, okay, yeah. Judging by his reaction, Von Rufio's reaction too.
Might get my 39.
Something goofy that happened.
Well, was it? Anybody that saw it, was it early in the auto scroller or right after the checkpoint? I believe it didn't look like it was.
It was after the checkpoint, yeah, but I'm not sure how far after. Can't really see his split times here either, but so yeah, we got two really good runs here going on the top right and the bottom left here. I want to keep an eye out on, especially on Moz and Wily too now. Yeah, when you enter a boss room, there are 2 frames where it's actually pulling you for inputs, and you can like either jump or charge a shot or something. So you can buffer your pharaohs. That's how you can buffer it coming through. But sometimes you can get a slide. If like for Dustman, it's a little easier if you get that slide in. It actually does lose time because it takes longer for the boss to spawn, but it makes the opening of the fight a little bit easier. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. In the cockroach fight, if you get a slide right at the beginning, like that little before you can move, it actually does a weird interrupt with the animation of the platforms falling down, and you get super speed. So unless you slide again, your walk speed will be your slide speed. Oh wow!
It's nearly useless. It makes the fight a little bit faster, but it's so hard to get that it's probably better just to charge up your Pharaoh. Because you can't do both. You can't charge up your Pharaoh and slide.
All right, yeah. It's just one of those cool things, though. These games too are surprising. Like especially the later Mega Man games are just so well programmed too. Like there's rarely like any programming issues with them as compared to like some other NES games that you'd play too, which is really cool.
Yeah, the RNG is well seated.
Yeah,
by frame count as opposed to like inputs or anything or screen position. So it's so hard to manipulate anything. There's very few manipulations as far as I know.
Yeah, that's more of really just like a Capcom thing too, because pretty much most of their, if not all of their NES games have similar RNG coding, which is quite impressive actually. Also frustrating because there's no way to control it. All right, looks like Zio is past the Wily machine fight. Yeah, looks like we got the timer reset there, so I'm not sure exactly what the time is here, but going into the final Wily fight here, looking to finish the run off. Looks like Sora gets a 2 there on the square machine, first phase of the square machine. See what it gets here. And Ahmad's going into the ooh. You hate to see it. You hate to see the fast one there.
Oh, Von Rufio.
Oh no.
Okay, you gotta do 2 damage to him and he'll be okay. Alright, we got Zio finishing up his run.
Yeah, gonna finish this one up, yeah.
I wish I knew what pace he was on.
I think this is still the first run, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're probably just a little over an hour into this run, hour 15 or so. Okay, one more hit and we'll do it. There it is.
Good job, GG.
All right, GG.
We have a time in the standings for him, at least in theory.
Oh, we reset 20. Oh, so it's about a 50-minute time. Okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, that's good then.
Thanks, MMX.
All right, so we got Ahmad going through the refights here. Again, you can see a lot of gold on his splits there, which again is comparing to the first run that he finished. So a lot of these stages have been faster than that. So he's on pace for a really good time here.
So he's going to change weapons in this fight, and that's like incredibly rare. And I was trying to think of like other fights that happens, and you do it in Brightman, you do it in Drillman, and I think the only other one that you would do it is Airman, right, in Mega Man 2? I think if you're playing Rockman 2, you can like start him with Buster, then switch to Wood if he gives you a certain pattern. But other than that, I can't think of any other refight where you'd actually menu after you've hit the boss.
Yeah.
And you do it twice here.
Yeah, it's interesting, actually, yeah. I can't think of any others right now, either.
But again, I don't run them all. Well, I guess if you screw up the Bomb Man refight, you menu to bomb, but that's a bit different.
It's, yeah. So even with the death there, it looks like Von Rufio is still on ahead of his previous pace, too, which is always good to see. Ooh, Polari's got some wild dust shots there, but is able to finish the boss off. You can see by his reaction there. Had two shots there that kind of all over the place, but it's able to finish it just fine. That's another reason why I really love this format too, is because you get to see the runners' reactions to things in real time too, which is always fun.
Yeah, good call. I needed the health.
Fun for us, anyways.
Yeah,
I guess it's kind of.
It wouldn't be fun for me. I make too many speed noises.
Oh yeah. Looks like Dust is being good here. Oop.
Oh, that's great that he jumps to the center of the room. That way you can kill him right when you're in the teleporter.
Yeah, that was good. Let's see, we're gonna do the machine fight here. Again, start with ring. Once you get down to the last hit, switch to drill. Use the drill explosion to kill the first form, do damage on the second form to instantly fill the health on the second form, right? Just like that. Perfect.
It's nice that we have players of all levels because Ahmad's just making this look really easy, but that is not an easy fight.
It's not,
And
no.
so, like, seeing other players, it highlights how, like, non-trivial that fight is.
But yeah, coming out of here with a 30, let's see, 38-16, so...
Looks like it's a minute ahead. It's really blurry.
Yeah, it was his previous run was a 40-26, so yeah, they're on a really low 39 pace here. Depending on what kind of RNG we get on this last fight here, on pace for a really good run. Sora at the bottom left here too is also on really good pace so far too, so we'll keep an eye as he goes. I believe Polari is doing pretty well himself too, so and then Von Rufio is ahead of his time despite the death in Cossack 3, so we got some really good attempts going so far here. Now we got a mod on the screen here, we'll see what kind of pattern we get on the Wily capsule. Come on, double hits. Ooh. There's one, nice. I'll do a pause buffer there. Oh!
Yeah, that was unfortunate damage. It screws with your timing.
Yeah. Oh,
Good
still
job.
got him. Is that a 39-15? GG. That's going to bump him all the way up now to 13th place. From 21st to 13th. That's a huge jump. He can still do better, though. Again, he's been on 37 pace a few times. So, you know, again, I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to even top that time. But the low 39 is a really good time here. So
Real gold again. Nice. That was like
definitely a runner to watch for sure. Oh, there we see Polari got the 4
the bad pattern.
the 4 bullet there. Yeah, so you can just see how much slower it is.
39.
All right, Sora's going into the Wily stages here, and Von Rufio is going into the refights, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. We're gonna get a switch on the top right here. We're gonna bring HA back on the screen. Again, it takes about a minute for the stream to a new stream to load up here, so it'll just show up frozen for a little bit. Also, yeah, in these refights too, there's an interesting way you want to kind of refill your ammo there on the way down, right?
Yeah, and it's highly dependent on your performance through the run. Like you just have to keep track of all your mistakes to know exactly how many of those little things to get for each one. Because if you screw up the cockroach fight, you'll probably want to get some Pharaoh because running out of Pharaoh, well, we've seen that this heat and it's not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always good on everything except for Dust, Pharaoh, and Ring.
Don't jump around. Don't jump around.
I just want to point out again too, like just the amazing performance of all these runners. Honestly, when it started, I thought like a high 42, low 43 would be kind of like the cutoff point here at the bottom, and we're creeping up towards. Let's see, what is it we got right now? It's below 42 now is the bottom time.
Well, it doesn't do bad.
If I'm reading that right, it says 41 something.
Yeah, 41 something. It's 56 looks like.
Yeah, that's amazing. Honestly, that's
42
incredible.
sub 42 is a tough time to get. I remember getting it and being really proud of myself.
I don't even have a sub 42 myself.
Damn.
This game's hard, yeah, and it just shows like it's amazing. Amazing performance by all these runners here. They really set the bar high, exceeding expectations, I would say. Especially, you know, I mentioned again that a new world record was set during the heat yesterday. So,
yeah, if your expectations are that high, something's wrong with you.
4, 5.
yeah. All right, so let's see. Let's get a quick update on the screen here. So Von Rufio is making his way through the refights here, still on pace to beat his previous time, which is good. Especially good for him because you can see right now he's at the 31 spot, so he definitely wants to try to move up a little bit here. Because I wouldn't want to have to go against you know, one of the top 4 or 5 runners in the first round.
Nice.
If you can avoid it, so.
Do you happen to know the format for the next round? Is it single? It's single elimination, but are they running 2 out of 3?
I don't think so, and not until the semifinals, I believe.
Go home.
But I could be wrong,
Oh,
unless
you're
it's
drunk.
updated recently. But I don't know. I'll let Mannix or one of the other guys answer in chat here. But I believe it's single elimination until the semifinals. I believe we had discussed. Best of 3 as a semis. Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, so as you said, like things turn on the dime in this game, so it's not like unreasonable for some upsets to happen.
Sure, yeah, and that's that.
Something like
Always makes the
Zero
tournament
that shit.
portion of these tournaments or the bracket portion of the tournaments interesting because those upsets can happen. I remember back in the Mega Man 3 tournament
I still
when,
miss John, so that's bad.
Kyle Precise had an upset against former world record holder Tiki in one of the later rounds.
This sucker.
So anything can happen. You hear it all the time. It's like the cliche thing. Anything can happen. I feel like that statement's said here more than anything else, but it's absolutely true, especially in these games.
Yeah, luckily in this game, as opposed to Mega Man 3, it's a lot harder to accidentally soft lock.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to intentionally soft lock, though.
So I believe at the start we had 55 people sign up for the heats. I think we ended up having 54. I think we had one drop, so 54 total.
It was
runners.
in the 50s, I know that.
Yeah.
Which is great participation for a Mega Man tournament.
Yeah, I
I
want to say that's the highest one in recent memory. Maybe the Rockman 2 tournament had more, but it also has
Mega
a
Man
lot
11
more runners.
I feel like Mega Man 11 had a ton, too.
Well,
but yeah, so the top 32 again. We'll go to the main. We'll go to the Cossack Cup brackets, which is our main bracket of the tournament. Any runners who don't qualify the top 32 will have another bracket. The Kalinka Cup, as we're calling it, is just another way for people to continue to compete. So even if the runners don't make the top 32, we'll have an opportunity for them to still compete on their own, which is really cool. I'm really a fan of that because everyone who's putting in hard work, if they don't make the top 32, it still gives them an opportunity to continue on and showcase what they've learned, basically. So
yeah, it's like going to minor league baseball games. Just drink and watch the crowd. Watch the.
Or it's kind of like if anyone's familiar with college basketball, it's like you got the main NCAA tournament, then you have the NIT tournament. It's kind of somewhere to that. But we have Von Rufio on the screen here, looking to better his time. Is on good pace to do so.
Happy, but he's. I mean, there you
go. There's a double. 41-12. Might have been an 11. Might have been 41-11. We'll retime it though. So that's going to bump him up a few spots, anyways. That'll put him up to looks like 27th. At that time, so GG to Von Rufio.
That should guarantee me a place in the tournament.
Von Rufio is one of my favorite runners to watch because he's really animated. His reactions to things are really great. So, ooh, Wily had a little misstep there, and his jet just flying away from him. You hate to see it.
Yeah, he's been having trouble with the jet through this whole stage, actually. Oh,
yeah, it's an unfortunate death there.
But he's keeping on. I guess he's not on bad pace right now.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, what was it, like 2 or 3 screens away from where he died to the checkpoint? Not too bad. Looks like he's. I mean, it's a good enough pace to continue. It looks like so. He's going to continue on. Let's keep an eye on Sora too in the bottom left, going through the refights. Appears to still be on really good pace here too. So. We're gonna get Itchy back on the screen in the top left. Again, it just takes a minute for it to load up here. And we got HJ in the top right, who see a gold split there, so we're doing pretty good compared to his previous run. Yeah, got some good attempts going on the screen right now. See what kind of luck he gets on Dust. It's kill on the right side of the screen. Not completely ideal, but anytime you get no sucks, I feel like it's a good fight.
You take what you can get, really. Wherever you can kill them, it's always better to just kill them than wait for them to go to the middle.
Yeah.
Happen.
That's the thing too. It's another thing to keep in mind, like knowing how much time things save. Like for that instance, like it's not worth it to let him try to jump again and kill him towards the center of the screen. Like like you said, just kill him as soon as you can.
I feel like that happens more often in Mega Man 3, where it's better just to wait a hair to get him to the center, like Magnet Man and stuff like that.
Yeah, because well, especially for Mega Man 3 too, is you can't move after the Robot Master's killed as well, so you want to make sure that you're in the center of the screen at time of kill. Where in this game you have time to position yourself after the kill. It's a little less stressful in that case, in this situation. And we got the Dust Refight going on in the bottom left. We got the Drill fight on the top left. Drill's being pretty...
Oh, diving with 1 health. That is just...
Oh, yeah, you hate to
hurts.
see it. Hate to see it.
So it's RNG whether he dives. If he dives, he's invulnerable for, I think, 4.2 seconds is the count that I heard.
That seems about right, yeah. Which is that's such a long time. So you figure if you get 3 dives during a fight, that's over 12 seconds. You're just losing base to nothing in your control.
Yeah, so people will know the length of their jump, and so they just do full height jumps to help them keep rhythm, so they know when he's about to emerge again.
Alright, so we're doing quick work of the Wily machine here. I believe we're on, it looks like we're on PB pace again. Real, legit PB pace. Not just heat PB pace, so see, hopefully we can close out the capsule this time around. Sorantian's PB currently is 38.51. So with a really good capsule here, yeah, we could be like a mid 38 it looks like. So you could get close to a 20-second PB here with a good capsule. We'll keep an eye there.
His little animation in the bottom corner is my favorite room of the game, just because it has so many different strats. It's like a single screen room, and there's like 50 ways to get through it.
Oh yeah. I've seen it, yeah, because you can like balloon and slide over. You can like, yeah. Skullman's just such a good stage. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get. Okay.
Strat in the GIF is suboptimal.
I was a little too quick on that second shot though. It's really easy to do that. You get so excited about it, you just let that second shot off just a little too early.
Yeah, well, I mean, his spawn time and his iframes are so close together. There's a very small window for his iframes to wear off, and he risked it. That was good. He let go of his last shot just to get that hit in. If that would have missed, he would have been in trouble.
Yeah, and being aware of that too, he held on to it, took the little bit of a time loss, and made sure he guaranteed he got that last hit in. So 38.44 is a new PB as well. So congratulations to Sorrentino and GG. We'd love to see it. You'd love to see the competition PBs there. So that's gonna move him up to, let's see, 30. Looks like 9th place. So a big jump from let's see, from 12th to 9th. So moving up 3 spots, which is huge when you get up to those top times, because again, I feel like you want to be in the top 8 is gonna like pretty much give you a favorable first round matchup. So amazing. If anybody who runs these games too, like you know, like it's hard enough just to get a PB on your own time, like in your own comfortable environment. You know, doing it at your own pace. You know, it's so to do it in this kind of format under these circumstances is just incredible. Yeah, new PB. Yeah, congratulations. That's amazing.
Some players just like the pressure of this and they could perform better. I don't know. I kind of melt. So.
Yeah. It's really easy to kind of let the nerves get to you in this kind of format. Yeah. But that's the second run that he's had that was on. The first run was just right around the same pace as well. So it's just incredible. 2 incredible attempts there. So we've got Polari going through the Wily machine fight here in the bottom right.
JA taking that fight. His fight got a little off script, and he doesn't have enough health for a hit, so he was being very cautious and smart about it.
Yeah, because any hit for either projectile or body damage would have killed him there, right?
Yeah, it's so easy to only practice that fight on script and not know the various like ways that you might get off. Because it should be scripted, but it's if you get off, you don't really know. Oh, so Ichi just had this weird little, I don't know if it's a glitch, it's this weird little movement thing that you wouldn't notice if you didn't run this game. He menued right before he landed on ice, and that resumes your ice physics slide. Usually, if you jump, you would
Oh.
land and stick. But if you menu right before you land, like within a tile, if you unmenu, you'll start sliding again, and that's why he slid right into
That's okay. That's why that happens. Okay, I've had that happen to me before, and I just thought it was just me being bad at the game. So
Well, it was, but
yeah.
but there was mechanics behind it too.
All right, we got Polari coming into the Wily fight here, on pace to beat his previous time. We'll see if he can fit. Actually, if he gets a good pattern here, or good RNG here, he could sneak into the top 32 here with a good fight. So we'll see. Missing a couple hits here. All right, got that one. If we can get a double here.
No, I'm not. Oh,
Got it.
Very
yes.
good, very good. I was like,
Nice. Amazing.
I
That
thought
was
he
awesome.
had two ticks left. I was like, I'm not sure he should go for a double, but he had 3 ticks. So
Yeah, and that's actually that's going to be good enough to get it, sneak him into the 32nd spot here on the board. So that's awesome.
So, how many runners of this heat are not in the top 32 at the moment? How safe is like space?
I believe right now, yeah. So I think 4. We got So we got Sora there at 9th. We got Ahmad at 13th. Let's see. Von Rufio's at 27th, and now we'll have Polari at 32nd. So right now, HJ will be battling for a spot. Zio will be battling for a spot, and Itchy as well. So we got three of the 7 are not on the board currently.
Okay.
Well,
So 29 is safe.
So, yeah, so at this point,
Mathematically.
29th is safe now, yeah.
41-46 for Polari. GG.
I know Handsome Jackass SPB is a low 41. Where's my list? I had it.
I highly encourage you to watch these.
4106. So he definitely has the capability to get up there on the top 32. So we'll keep an eye out for sure.
Looks like he's on Mega Man 4 instead of Rockman 4 because he has a very long reset. All right, that was a pretty niche joke. I'm sorry.
Yo, thanks for the bears. Thanks for the good luck.
I think if Mr. Cab's in the chat, I think he'll appreciate that one.
Actually, I'm pretty sure he is on Rockman 4 though. But one difference is how long it takes to reset from like to get back to your RTA timing.
Yeah,
It
again,
makes
it's just
no difference RTA how long it takes to reset, but when you're running,
Yeah.
it kind of does.
it's just one of those goofy, there's just goofy subtle differences that it's just like I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't even make any sense, right?
Yeah, the American versions flash a copyright screen where the Japanese doesn't.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so we got HJ in the top right here, going through Toadman stage, making good use of the flash stopper here. Looks like let's keep an eye on Ahmad again on the bottom left, who is in the green again. Another good pace run here. We got Itchy the top left here, battling the square machine. I think that was a 3, if I'm not mistaken. Missing a couple shots here. All right, we'll see what we got here on the top left again. Looks like it's going to be a 2. Rufus having a little trouble starting a run here. It'll be perfectly fine.
Mod's on the first screen of Toad. As when you're starting to run, this is a good measure of your movement because if you can get through the screen in like one flash, it's not incredibly difficult, but a new runner will have trouble with it. So that's a good way to measure how much your movement's improving.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you can see Ahmad was there. Yeah, got through there in 1.
Getting through this screen in 1 is a whole lot more difficult.
It's,
and
yeah,
I wouldn't recommend pushing it too fast too early.
Pretty sure it's impossible.
To get through without that little blob on the ceiling moving before you hit the screen transition.
It's literally impossible. Nobody's ever done it ever.
Ahmad, the world record of that screen, just did it.
No, it's really tough. It's amazing to see that. So it looks like Itchy now is ahead of the previous run that they had, so that's great. If you don't kill these turrets, though, yeah, so that's one of the things you were talking about the lag reduction strats. If you leave those turrets on the screen during the auto-scroller, it lags it considerably more, which does take a little bit more time. You see a couple of refills during this section too. You want to make sure you refill your ring because, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of the bosses going forward are weak to ring, so you want to make sure you have enough of that.
He opted to fill dust, but he's still been used to ring because the little buzzsaws up here on the next screen are weak to ring.
All right. Again, we got a mod on good pace here in the bottom left. HJA on the top right, also ahead of the previous run here, going through Cossack 1. Cossack 1's a tough stage overall. I think it's another one of those like kind of movement heavy screen, and then just I feel like the shots too, like your accuracy when and where to shoot is very important too. And ice physics, never making things easier. So
the shots aren't the hard part. It's definitely timing though, because there's only a very small window after the shot lands that you can like slide through them before they start up and their hitbox regains.
And then always my issue with doing that screen is I always forget about those enemies that pop out of those pits. So
yeah, yep. I'm amazed that you can jump over them because it's tight.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think so just looking at it, but
I think you'll see a lot of I was gonna say you see a lot of beginner runners who will just pause and shoot them before they jump over, which definitely is not a bad idea if you're not comfortable jumping over them.
It is like the least at least it's a checkpoint room, right? There aren't too many like super challenging checkpoint rooms, but that's one of them. So at least even though it's challenging, it's not too punishing to die.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's a PV ruiner for sure, but
yeah. Alright, so we got a 4-shotter there on the boss, but good fight there on the top left. Should keep us ahead of the pace of the previous run by Itchy there. Alright, so Ahmad's coming into the boss here. A little bit of a miss menu, but that's okay.
It was a small drop that cost me, I think.
Yeah, this was the moth fight's tough too because of the way that the boss moves up and down. Sometimes doesn't always lend you to be able to hit it, like right there. And like you mentioned earlier, since the hitbox of the ring weapon is so small compared to how it looks, it can be a little tricky to time those shots out while also trying to avoid damage at the same time. Because you take a decent amount of damage throughout the stage here as well.
Because if he moves up when you think he's going to move down, so you're going to waste a ring, and you're also going to waste all the time it takes for the ring to get back to you before you can shoot again. So he might have like been vulnerable, but you couldn't shoot, and then he moves back up, and it's just,
exactly. Yeah,
it's a compounding error.
Yeah, it can be a particularly frustrating fight
I still got plenty of health.
with the way the boss moves, but it was good effort there. I think I only missed one shot, so that's perfect. Alright, we have Von Rufio at the bottom right. I was finally able to get out of Brightman stage, so he's at the Pharaoh boss now. Keep an eye on HJ as well, as still ahead of his previous run, so he's doing good here. Let's see what kind of pattern he gets here. Again, you do not want to see the fast one here to start. I think this is going to be a 2, right? Yeah. It's very particular how you have to like move here against the square machine boss as well in order to avoid taking damage.
Yeah, I mean, you can get, I believe you can actually get 6 hits if you do take intentional damage at a certain point, but he dies in 7 hits, so you want to get, at least 3 or 4 to get a 2 cycle.
I was gonna say, I feel like the standard is usually like you see like 5 in like the top runs, right?
Yeah, 5 is pretty standard. I want to say you can squeeze in 6.
All right.
You definitely can't do 7. The task doesn't even do 7.
On the first one, yeah. Let's keep an eye on Ahmad here again. Like he's down to 1 tick of health. Looks like going into the second form here, so hopefully he's able to avoid damage.
Yeah, he's only got to get 3 hits.
Now that I've said that out loud, he's probably gonna die because commentator curse and everything. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
If he had to get 4 or 5 hits, it's pretty hard to do damageless.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad.
But
that
not impossible.
Yes, we got HJ validated the run, so we know it's legit. again, each runner at the beginning of Cossack 3, the auto scroller, will have a particular set of inputs that they'll have to do, so we know that it's a live attempt and not a pre-recorded run. For this particular heat, it'll be left shot, right shot, left shot, and then a jump. So shoot left, shoot right, shoot left, and then jump. These are given to the runners like a minute before we start the run attempts. That way it's not known prior, so again, it can't be pre-recorded. It's just a way just to guarantee that, you know, there's no foul play going on. But honestly, being a part of this community for as long as I have, I wouldn't ever you know, anticipate that from anybody in the community ever. So it's worth mentioning, anybody who's out there, like the classic Mega Man community is by far like one of the best ones I've ever been a part of. You know, every member of the community is so welcoming, so friendly, so willing to help, no matter, despite what, you know, level of runner or current, like, you know, skill level you're at. You know, whether it's helping through Discord, coming into your stream to help, you know, recording videos to help you with certain things you might have a question on. If you're ever interested in, if this looks like a cool run to you, and you're interested in, you know, maybe picking up one of these games to speedrun, I highly recommend it, just because like the ease of getting into it. I mean, the games themselves are difficult to start, but the community aspect is such a positive experience, and everybody's so willing to help. So don't be shy to jump in and give it a shot. It's Cossack 3, yeah, the beginning of the auto scroller.
Statistically speaking, there are probably a whole lot of jerks, but you know, they're quiet, so don't worry about them.
Yeah. There's rarely ever any like issues as far as like, you know, people, drama, that sort of thing, which is, and like I said, everybody's so willing to help. You know, I was talking about Polari earlier. He's just like so knowledgeable in every game. He's always offering help and advice pretty much instantaneously. And that goes to like, you know, pretty much everybody in the community who's been around for a while is in the same boat too. It's a really friendly environment. But
yeah, it's amazing. Like when I was starting, how I could just ask a question, someone would slap together a video response real fast.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that was so much. That's useful. Thank you.
So what you're saying is we all need we need to like, you know, find more things to fill our time. Basically, we have too much time on our hands.
Get back to RTA.
No, but yeah. So that's a quick update on the screen here. So HJ again is on a really good pace here compared to his previous run. Ahmad on the bottom left is also on pace to beat his previous run, which you know, which is pushing him close to the 38 territory. Von Rufio's on ahead of his previous run, and so is Ichi on the top left. So we got 4 really good attempts going here, all different stages of the run too. So this is pretty cool.
I'm playing it safe.
Yeah, it doesn't matter too. Like it doesn't matter. Like I've seen some communities where like, you know, top runners are a little hesitant to kind of help, and you know, kind of only like help other top runners kind of thing, or will like communicate with them. But in this community, like you'll have everybody from like the top guy on the leaderboard to, you know, all the way through are just so willing and happy to help, and also like very like versed in like what's going on. Like, you know, for instance, like Cool Kid, who's a very prominent member of the classic Mega Man community, like he just always knows what's going on. Like he knows everybody's PBs, new runs, like everything. Like it's really cool. Like everybody's just so invested in the community too. It's really amazing.
He has strats in this game. He doesn't run it, but he has strats. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, he's another one of those runners too, where if he decided to pick this game up, like it would be like instant contention for.
There 2 strats are contributed to him. One is a half charge shot that you can fire 3 bullets for the price of 2 by half charging. If you think about how many presses it takes to fire 3 bullets, it's only 2 with half charges. And so that's a Cool Kid thing. And then he has this like weird Cossack 2 triple balloon that's nearly impossible, but you can skip 1 damage boost.
Yeah. Some people are just natural, like, like strat finders too, which always amazes me because like I'm not. I always tend to make things like more complex and difficult than they need to be, and they end up being slower too. So it always amazes me when people can come up with like these like really cool strats, like out of the box kind of thinking to save time. It's awesome.
Yeah, and to add on about the top runners being friendly, also when you're starting out, you don't always want the top runner's advice because sometimes it's just more relatable to get it to someone that's just just a 2 minutes ahead of you and to know their strats. It's really helpful. And so like every tier has people ready to help you. So join the community, guys.
Yeah,
Get in there, get yourself speed running.
And everybody for the most part too, everyone in the community is like invested in even games that they don't run too. Like, because they're just fans of the series, Like, I know that's definitely the case for me too. But you'll see a lot of like runners who like, like if they're like strictly like, like a Mega Man 2 runner, for instance, you'll see them all the time in like Mega Man 4, 5, and 6 streams too, which is cool.
Sometimes you will see me in a Mega Man 2 stream. Like, how bizarre is that?
Sometimes you'll even see me in a Mega Man 2 stream. And for anybody who knows me, is that I'm not a fan of the game at all. But yeah, it's cool.
Trying to start a chat war here. And both commentators are on the minority opinion.
So I think we're all in agreement that Mega Man 2 is an inferior
Yes, I think we all agree.
Good. Glad we settled
We've reached
that.
consensus. Finally.
Anyways.
Is she starting his refights?
Yeah, it looks like it's fell a little bit behind the previous run there, so HJ is on the Metal Daddy fight here. It took a little bit of damage there, but should be fine. Has plenty of health. Still way ahead of the previous run. Ahmad, same, is on the Metal Daddy fight as well. And ahead of his previous best run, too. And Von Rufio in the bottom right going through dive. Looks like fell a little bit behind previous run here, but should have more opportunity to get back up there.
And I saved time?
Metal Daddy is another RNG fight because of how long he stays open, and how high he jumps is RNG. So
isn't it like how long it takes before he jumps too, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Right. So yeah, he always like opens, jumps, then closes. How long he stays open before he jumps is
right.
RNG,
okay.
and that depends. Like, so it's possible. I'm not sure if he gives you 3 short cycles, if it's possible to 3 cycle him. It probably is. I don't know, but I haven't been able to do it. It's very tight if it is.
All right, so we can see both Ahmad and HJ going through the same stage here. Both ahead of their previous run, so this is good to see. Yeah, that ladder that HJ just went to, yeah, it looks trivial, but it's tricky to get up there. Or it can be anyways.
No, it is trivial. You'll only see one clip of someone failing it really bad, but
it's still one of my favorite clips ever. But,
Uh-oh. Alright, reset the room.
this jump's tough too, the one you see HJ trying to do here. You gotta position the rush jet just right so you can jump around this corner here. But you can see, like, if you get it too high, it's stuck in the ceiling. If you do it too far to the right, you don't have enough time to jump off of it.
yeah, from a speed gaming perspective, that is the best placement because he despawns as soon as you touch him. But as far as safety, it's a very tight window to jump off of him before he respawns. So the safest thing to do is actually spawn him on your left side, because that's where the room is. But if you face back to the right, Rush Jet will face right when he spawns, and there he'll give you a much bigger window to spawn.
Okay.
And that's an old hyper strat.
Yeah,
Rush always gets treats. He's a good dog. He's a rocket dog. If you had a rocket dog, you would just bust him out everywhere, and you know it. It's very disciplined that these runners aren't using Rush Jet everywhere.
You can see both Ahmad and HJ elected to do the hurt box despawn, I guess you can call it, trick on the top of the trash there to make that fight as safe as possible.
Yeah, I believe it loses like 2 seconds just due to menuing. I think an extra menu is 2 seconds. Maybe a little bit more.
22
Yeah,
seconds.
it seems worth it to do in that fight, especially like in this format. You know, and being both of them being ahead of their previous best times. Both are in different situations on as far as like the leaderboard goes, but both you know, trying to. So HJA is trying to sneak his way into the top 32 here. Ahmad is trying to effectively trying to break into the top 10 here. Both are on, I think, are on pace to do so. I can't really
Alright. Be nice,
what
guys.
HJ's timer says. Let me try to check it out on this other thing here. Yeah, so HJ currently is a minute ahead of previous best time, which is 42:27. So, I mean, if that holds up, that would definitely get him in the top 32 here. So, keep an eye out there. Looks like Von Rufio restarted his run. I didn't see what happened there. And Itchy took down the Wily machine. That should put Itchy far ahead of the previous run.
Right,
yeah.
that teleport time is going to be way down.
Oh, right, because we had the game over on the refights, right, in the first run.
Yeah,
so that's a huge time save there.
It was a machine game over too, so it was basically the whole level twice.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, more than twice because he fought the machine multiple times.
True. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. So yeah, big time save there. So looking at on like about a 46 pace if the capsule goes well. So we'll get them up on the screen here to watch the finish. Plenty of ammo. So another thing you need to be mindful of too is your Pharaoh ammo coming into this fight. Because is this the ring is the only other thing that does damage to? Is that correct? Ooh, a couple double hits there. Nice. We got a 45-34 for Itchy. That's a vast improvement over the previous round. So GG there. Which,
Be nice to me.
wait, hold on a second. That might actually be a PB, right? Well, if their leaderboard time is the correct current PB, the previous PB was a 46:37. So that 45:34, if that is correct, anyways, will be actually a new PB. So congratulations, Itchy the Kitty. Again, keep an eye on HJ and Ahmad here, both going through the refights, both in the green ahead of their previous runs. Again, HJ is trying to break into the top 32, who's on pace to do so if the refights go if the rest of the run goes well. Ahmad will be looking to try to break into the top 10 here, also on pace to do so, so keep an eye on both of these guys. And then we got Zio back on the screen in the bottom right here. Looks like he's a little ahead of their previous run too. And then we're going to get Sarantian up in the top left here in just a moment. Alright, Ahmad's coming into the Wily machine fight here. And first phase, takedown with the ring. Up until the last hit, then we'll use the drill explosion to do the last hit of the first form.
Alright, I'm grabbing that just in case.
Get the first hit of the second form. Oh, didn't get the timing right there. So we actually got the refill animation there. So yeah, if you time it right, if you land the hit on the second form right away, it cancels out that refill animation. So it looks like we just missed the hit there, but it's able to take out the second form in good time. So with a good pattern on the capsule here, Mod will be looking at like a mid 38. Which will definitely bump him into the top 10. So
there's two ways that you can mess up that timing. One is if you shoot when he's too early and the drill itself hits the guy in iframes and the explosion is what takes down the shield, you'll get the free refill. But more common for me is accidentally using my muscle memory and manually triggering the explosion, and then the explosion's what takes down the shield.
Oh, I see. Yeah. All right, well, we'll see what kind of pattern Ahmad gets here. We're gonna have two back-to-back finishes here, so we'll get Ahmad, and then we'll try to get Handsome Jackass HJA on the screen there. All right, oh, you got the hit in. That's good. Yeah. Hate to see those spawns. It's getting the hits in though, so that's important. Have to see one double. There it is. Oh no.
GG.
All right, gets it in.
Excellent job.
38-35. That's a great time. GG Ahmad. And yeah, so that will put him up to, yeah, it looks like 8th place.
Yeah.
Big jump from 13th to 8th. And the Handsome Jackass is looking to break into the top 32 here. He's on pace to do so if he can just get this fight to go down. Ah, nice double.
GG.
Got it.
Yep,
41-16.
All right.
He is in. And yeah, that's going to be good enough to move him to 20. No, wait. Yeah, 28th, right?
I think so.
Yeah, which is what we said before. Anything over 29 is officially safe. So HJA has cemented himself into the top 32, and we'll move on to the Cossack Cup. So GG to HJA, and again GG to Ahmad there for breaking into the top 10. There's some two really good attempts back to back there. That was amazing. Love to see it. I was wondering what happened to you, Vic, for a second.
Sorry about that.
So that screen that Sarantian too, that double tart screen in drill is an interesting one too. Because what is it? You have to get the flash stopper out like the frame you enter or is it you have a couple frames to?
If it's more than a frame, it's not much more. Oh, I'd say it's probably more than a frame because of how consistently I get it. You can just mash going through the thing and you'll probably get it, but then you'll probably shoot a bullet on the ladder, which will slow you down just because, firing on a ladder stops your vertical.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, because if you're too late activating the flash stopper into that screen, the turrets will shoot first, which won't allow you to go right through them because the bullet stays on screen and will do damage to you if you run into it.
Yeah, that's the danger there. But you can't freeze them too early. It's not like you can freeze them shut. So
yeah, so that's why usually just mashing into that screen is usually the go-to strat, I feel like.
Got a magic pixel going on. Looks like he's got it by my.
All right, so
no,
we are
a little bit to the right. It's hard enough to see in person, and then through this low resolution, it's really hard. To see
no, yeah.
But if Rupio's got it here, he should just jump right up to the center like that. That was the magic pixel I was trying to talk about earlier that didn't have any examples.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, so we got 2 restarts here from Rufio and Polari, both starting some fresh runs. We got Zio on the bottom right here, who is on pretty good pace to beat his previous run, I'm pretty sure. And then Sarantian again on the top left, who is also on good pace again here. I mean, how long is Toadman stage usually? About 2 minutes or so.
Honestly, don't know off the top of my head, but I think 2:30 just standing out in my head. I wish I knew more of the split times, segment times.
Let's see. So the best through there, according to the splits, anyways, it looks like it's 2:09.
Yeah, 2:09. Or maybe 2:19. It seems to me like it's hard to lose a handful of seconds in Toadman. It's either I'm always +4 or +25. There's no middle ground in there.
Yeah. That's pretty common for a lot of classic mega stages, honestly. It's just again, because movement's so important, and there's just a lot of things that can just eat up time. Any small mistakes, missed jumps, missed slides.
Yeah, the minor mistakes in Toadman are things like getting knocked the wrong way by the mini bosses, or possibly or refills which are random. Other than that, it's going to go your way, or you're going to die.
Yeah, especially through that.
It's a very punishing stage.
Room, but that, yeah. But yeah, 18-19 kill, which is again right about the same pace as the first 2 runs that were.
All right, eyes on Polari's
PB.
screen because I bet he's going to get the animation skip I was talking about.
Let's
Nope.
see. No.
He's got the pixel, but he jumped a little early. Yeah, so when someone finishes Pharaoh or dive stage, like that's a fun thing to look for.
We'll keep an eye out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Von Rufio just keeping his toe on that platform to stay up and continue to do damage there.
Yeah, and the timing depends on how the orbs are leaving the screen, so you have to develop a different visual cue for every TV you've played on. It's kind of interesting that you can really notice your screen's vertical scan.
Yeah, that's just anyone who's ever played on a CRT, an old TV, knows that like each TV has like a different, like, I guess, cutoff, if you want to call it, or field of view, anyways. So yeah, if it's something like memorizing when something leaves the screen, yeah, it's very TV specific. I know a lot of runners nowadays, though, there's different peripherals and stuff you can buy to allow yourself to play on modern displays and stuff, which eliminates that problem. But yeah, if you're playing on old CRT, it's definitely specific to the TV that you're playing on.
Yeah, luckily this game doesn't have a whole lot going on at the top of the screen, but some like Mega Man 2 zips set up really high where your visual cue, like for my TV, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, I know Mega Man 1 for sure.
And Cryon Conquest, but obviously that's a different community.
Yeah, it's essentially a Mega Man game. So.
Yeah, it's a Mega Man game. That's my hot take.
Alright, so yeah, looks like Polari is going to reset the run. Maybe taking a little break here as well. Worth mentioning too, we're in the final hour of attempts here in our 3-hour session. So again, any runner that's in the middle of a run or has started a run before the timer runs out, they are allowed to finish that run. You're just not allowed to start a new one once the timer runs out.
Right, the timer is a restriction on the reset button, not the run.
Right, exactly, yep. So we might see some runs go into overtime, if you will. So the runners are allowed to finish whatever run they're on after the timer runs out. If you are just joining us, again, so this is the qualifying heat for the Mega Man 4 tournament that we featured here on Speed Gaming. This is the 9th and final heat. So we had 55 runners sign up who have been spanned over 9 different heats. This is the final one. Each runner has 3 hours. You can only compete in one heat. Each runner has 3 hours within the heat to finish the best time they can. And as you can see on the screen in the middle, the top 32 will move on to the Cossack Cup, which will be the main bracket of the tournament. Anybody who doesn't qualify for the top 32, there is a separate bracket called the Kalinka Cup, is what we're calling it, which is gives the runners an opportunity to continue with what they've learned. So they're not just like knocked out and done. They can still compete in the other bracket. So
but the top 3 hours of screen time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, even though we started doing these heats last week, a lot of these runners have been preparing for this for a couple months now. So it's good to have that separate tournament too, I guess, if you will, just so that those months of preparation just don't, like you said, just end up in like 3 hours and you're done. So it's really cool, a cool idea to keep people interested and.
Yeah, it's a good time to shout out Lookin' Toad, who was kind of the, hey, let's have a tournament guy of this tournament. He's been an organizer, and he recruited Manix and Mad Mega from the Mega Man community, and the Speed Gaming crew jumped on with them. We've got a lot of help from even outside our Mega Man community, and it's a very successful tournament together. Yeah,
I want to second that. Big shout out again to Speed Gaming. The volunteers for Speed Gaming are always so helpful, and just giving us, the community, a chance to showcase this game is always fun. It's always fun to have your game showcased on a platform like Speed Gaming. So thank you guys, and thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sticking around. From what I've seen in chat, it seems like you guys are really enjoying the format, enjoying the runs. So that's awesome to see. And yeah, we'll continue on. The whole tournament will be broadcast here on Speed Gaming, so stay tuned. The main
Good.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just shouting out Zio for something silly.
Oh.
He just did a little airwalk, and I loved it, so I wanted to shout that out too. But if you had more community members to shout out, definitely.
No, I was just gonna say, so just the main bracket, the tournament itself, if you will start on June 12th, right here on Speed Gaming. So again, just stay tuned if you're enjoying this. It'll be a single elimination tournament up until the semifinals, which will then shift to a best of 3. Will be the format for the tournament. Again, top 32 will be seeded based on their position on the top 32 here, and then it'll be single elimination until the semifinals. So we'll get a quick update on the screen here. So Sarantian again is going through Cossack 3 here. Again on pace. Von Rufio's gotten to the Skullman stage. He's got a lot of time to save, so even though his splits are showing red, which means he's behind his previous best run, he'll have some time to save here, so he's continuing this run on.
Itchy did a recovery strat. Wasn't sure about his placement, his timing to get through the next screen, so he did the same thing that you would do for Fast Crusher, just in the opposite direction to kind of bail on it, where you wouldn't. It was either that or death.
Yeah, as we were saying at the beginning of the broadcast, yeah, that section, that screen is it's very stressful. We also got Zio on the bottom right here, who's also looking to best his previous best time, and I think is on pace. So yes, this will be a vanilla Mega Man 4 tournament as well, not a randomizer. This will be the game that everybody remembers playing.
I'm also, yeah, exactly tired, Mucky. I'm not sure there is a Mega Man 4 rando. There is a Mega Man 3 rando, but it's not nearly as popular as the Mega Man 2 one.
Yeah. Alright. See how Sarantian handles his boss. Hopefully
Like a boss.
I love that double hit. It's such a cool. He gets so he gets the 4-shotter, the one you don't want to see, the one that lags it out a little bit more, but doesn't miss a hit, so is gonna move on. Got Von Rufio taking on Skullman here. Gets a quick skull barrier, so that's pretty good.
Is this a rerun?
This is live. Itchy misses the skull zip there. It looks like they're gonna try it again. Oh.
These we're not in rounds yet. We're in heats. This is the last heat, the 9th heat.
Yep. So we're having these heats to qualify for the top 32, and the bracket portion of the tournament will start on June 12th. Alright, Zio's making some work of the Cossack catcher. One more shot. Yeah, there we go. Nice.
I like Tiki Marsala has the best comment I've seen in chat all day. Everybody needs to play Mega Man 4.
It's hot right now. Mega Man 4 is the hot classic Mega game. So now's the time to get into it.
It had the longest standing world record, and that's now the world record has changed hands twice or 3 times in the last week. Well, not changed hands, it's been set 3 times in the last week and by two different people.
I'm waiting for the summoning salt video, saying, Becca's record will stand. We'll stand and stand and stand for,
we probably started
for one
production.
Day.
Started production like, oh man.
Shouts to Summoning Salt, his videos are amazing. Anyways, alright, so let's see, where are we at? So Sarantian is taking on the Cossack catcher. Gets a little, I don't know what happened there. It looked like he was sliding, but they still moved up top of him. Is able to readjust and finish that off. Von Rufio is getting to the dive man fight here. Pretty uneventful stage, which is always good. Zio making their way through Wily 1. Looks like they're going to take a refill there. It's probably not the worst idea. And Itchy makes quick work of Skullman, who was ahead of their previous run. Which again, I believe was a PB. So we've seen 2 PBs already today from these runners, which I always love to see that. Ooh, unfortunate death there for ZL on that spike. That spike's really easy to hit.
I didn't see where was that?
Underwater, it's like
Oh yeah, Wily won.
yeah, we basically have to like slide and then just like let yourself fall off the platform. If you hold right for any amount of time, it seems like you always hit that spike.
That's a really tight thing. It's so tight that I can't get Rush Marine through it. I've heard people say that you can, but I'm not sure I believe them.
I forgot there was a Rush Marine in this game at all.
No, he's a good dog.
I never see it. I wish that's the one thing I do wish is that the Rush Marine was featured more in any of the games, because I think it's one of the cooler.
Yeah, he makes the least sense in this game because you get him in Toad stage, and the end room of Toad is arguably one that might help to Rush Marine in, just because it's so annoying to get on those platforms.
Yeah,
obviously, the speed strat's a lot faster, but as far as like casually going, it's
right,
Rush
because
Marine
it
would make sense there.
Yeah, because even in this the stage that Zio's on now, Wily won. Like it seems like it would be pretty tough to navigate here through with Rush Marine.
Yeah, I can't complete the whole screen with Rush Marine because I always die on that one spike. Also, there's a Tired Monkey showed me this too up in the next room. It's just one tile of water. You can spawn Rush Marine there and ride around, but if he touches the ladder, he just like falls to your death like instantly. It's like
really? Wow.
Bizarre. And sometimes he'll kind of like wrap the screen a little bit. It glitches out and just kills you.
A goofy thing there, yeah. Alright, so Sora is taking on Metal Daddy on the top left here. Again, that's doesn't seem like the best pattern there. It's getting some quick hops, yeah. Taking a little bit longer than he'd probably like. But it's able to finish it off just fine. Bon Rufio's taking on Dive Man, or Drill Man.
See, he was open a pretty good time for Zio, looked like. Yeah, so that was a very quick jump that he gave Zio. He only had 2 rings out before he jumped.
Bon Rufio takes down Drill Man. We'll move on.
Oh, he got.
Oh, I thought he was going to be able to get the hits out there in time, but
Yeah, I don't even know what he could have done in that situation because I don't think he can pause and damage animation in E-Tank, and he had a ring out as well, so.
I don't think there was enough time to slide through there either.
And it's not very likely he has an E-Tank.
Yeah. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, Itchy again is starting up Drill Man ahead of their previous run, which is a PB, so effectively on PB pace. I'd love to see that. Sarantian, I believe, is on pretty good pace still here as well. I can't tell. Let's see. Looks like the deltas aren't working on the split, so I don't know how far ahead they are from the previous run. But
yeah, we encourage the runners to run on fresh splits, so they're not running against real PBs.
Yeah, that it's just easier to track that way, so we can see as far as like the competition goes, like how they're doing compared to their best finish run throughout the competition.
So the golds are likely fake.
Yeah, worth mentioning though that this Sum of Best, which tracks basically your best segments throughout each split, which effectively just tells you what the best possible time you can get based on what you've done up to that point. So Sarantian's current Sum of Best is a mid 37-33. So, you know, definitely capable of pulling out a better run here.
Yeah, those are really helpful in games, especially in the 8 robots of this game where like the stages are so modular. And the Wily stages, it gets a little bit funny because you have different routes depending on ammo. But you know, in some games, that Sum of Best is so hard to use as a metric because of how different pickups.
Yeah, it really depends. Yeah, it depends on the game too, because games that are like heavily like RNG based, it's hard to go off Sum of Best because like the likelihood of getting the best RNG sometimes isn't indicative of like what the best possible time you can get in a stage is. Yeah, and then also like different routing too. Yeah, can throw that askew. So it's not always like the best measurement, but it gives you a general idea as to like, you know, what the best you can do is.
Ichi was on the magic pixel, but then moved a bit to the right.
Still on good pace though. That looks like a double-digit green split there, so that's always good. Swore at the top left is going into the refight, so hopefully we'll get some good patterns here, save some time. Again, I'm a huge fan of the Mega Man 4 refights, just for as far as like the routing of them goes, weapon management, menuing is just it's one of the more interesting refights, which is kind of tough in these games because like, you know, it's kind of standard, like you have 8 teleporters, 8 boss fights. It's pretty, you know, routine, but especially in this one, there's definitely a method to it as far as like the speed strats go, which makes it really interesting.
Yeah, and no current weird trick to skip them like in Mega Man 5.
Yeah, there's a way to skip them. It's just it's not RTA viable. So it's essentially cannot be done by a human being. Yes.
Yes, this is the final heat, so you know you're safe if you're in the top 30. Top 29 at this point, I think.
Yeah. So we have 3 runners out of the 7 who are not on the top 32. So effectively, yeah, anything over 29 means you're safely in. So this is the final heat. So yeah, basically, yeah, you're looking for a time that's under the 30-second time there if you're not already on the board. If you're already on the board, like 4 of our runners are, yeah, you're just trying to get the highest spot on the leaderboard you can to give yourself the best seed for the bracket portion of the tournament, which again will start right here on Speed Gaming on June 12th.
Do you think that's more or less pressure for a runner that's PB is hovering around 40 minutes? Like, would you rather be in the first heat or last heat, do you think?
I like personally, I'd rather be on the last heat just because I don't know, like it just, at least that way, like you know what kind of time you need to get. Which depending on like your, I guess like where your PB is, it allows you to either do some like safer strats to guarantee that you get that time. You just have more information. I feel like the more information is always helpful in these things. But I feel like the nerves would be a lot less if you're in the first heat, just because there is no benchmark. So pretty much like any run feels like a good one, I guess. So
I think I would overthink it. Like the less I know, the better. Just run as fast as I can and don't bother me with all this extra coaching stuff. Like, just let me just do the best.
And see, that's always the interesting thing about speedrunning too, is that everybody has a different mindset as to how they approach things, which you know, makes for interesting I guess like situations. But
Von Rufio just nailed that spike room. Very good job for him.
Yeah, I love the stage with the balloon. The balloon is such well used in this stage. It's really cool. It just shows off what a powerful utility it is. It's worth mentioning too. Like you can see he's doing some balloon jumps here into the wall. So what is it? I forget like the exact timing, but you have a certain amount of frames where you can actually where the balloon is still it still exists where you can jump off of it before it completely disappears.
Yeah, it's a 14 frame window, so it's actually really wide. But
yeah,
the harder window is the pixel window for you to like jump into the wall. Because if you're up against the wall and throw a balloon, you won't be able to jump on it. It's just in the wall. It's not as too bad if you throw it farther away and it actually does spawn, because at least you can use it as a balloon. But the reason you want it to despawn is obviously because of lag. That's the answer to everything. Why do you want it to despawn? Lag.
Yeah.
And also, you can only have 3 on screen. I can't think of any situation where like despawning is good because you can get the extra one. Unless you're going for something crazy in Bright Stage, you'd have to ask Sage about that. He's been doing some really crazy despawn strats in Bright Stage.
Yeah, the NES can only handle a certain amount of sprites on the screen at one time before the game can't keep up, basically. But let's keep an eye on the top left here. So Sarontian now is going into the final fight here. It's gonna be close. I don't know if he can get better than the 38-44. With a perfect, with all the double hits, it's possible. I think.
Probably not.
It's gonna be close. I don't know if he missed a couple of hits on the final form of the Wily 2, or the second form of the Wily machine there, which kind of cost him a few seconds, but it's gonna be close anyway. So hopefully we can finish this out quickly. Yeah, you don't like to see that first spawn. There we go.
Ooh.
Oh.
And he didn't want to let it go because then he would lose his ammo. Right,
Yes, I think with all doubles there, he could
definitely was possible. I just have a bad sense of that.
I mean, it shows the consistency though. That's the third run now that's been pretty much the same pace. I mean, the first run, a couple error shots on the machine cost him a 38, but basically you got the same time in like the 3 finisher runs we've seen. So that's really incredible. And the consistency like that goes a long way in these tournaments, because if you can consistently put up like a mid 38, I mean, you're gonna go pretty far in this tournament. So GG's there.
And even just for qualifying purposes, we saw runners like Brian that always put up. You know, he was, where is he? He's just at the 40-minute mark. He just hit the 40-minute mark pretty much every run. There was like 4 resets maybe. It was bizarre.
Yeah. Consistency definitely goes a long way in these type of situations, in these tournaments. Von Rufio going through Cossack 3 here. Is in the green, so is ahead of the previous run, so looking to advance his time on the leaderboard. Currently sitting at 27th. Oh wow, I didn't see what happened there. They got stuck on one of those platforms going up.
Yeah, he's been having trouble with Cossack 3. I've called it the Great Yips Inducer because you've seen so many bad deaths in races.
It's so true, right? Like, it's an auto-scroller, it's the same every time, but it with that in mind, it also gives you more time to think and to overthink. And yeah, it lends yourself to some unfortunate mistakes, yeah.
I think my history facts are a little bit wrong, but I think this has been run as a solo game twice at AGDQ, and in both times the runner has died to this stage.
Yeah,
it's been run as a race many times. I don't think anybody's died in the race on it, but as a solo run, I think both runners have died.
Alright, so we got Ahmad, looks like started a fresh run just a little bit ago, is working on Pharaohman fights. Zio here, going through the refights. Definitely on pace to beat the previous time that they put up, so that's, you love to see that.
Let's go animation skip. Come on, Ahmad. Nah, jumped late. I want to see it. It's probably happened, I just have been missing it.
It's possible, yeah. I think we'll see at least one here. Hopefully. We got Itchy working on the square machine down at the bottom left, able to take it out. They're also ahead of their... Yeah, they're ahead of their previous best run too, so which was also, I believe, again, was a PB unless the leaderboard time was wrong. Yeah, we've seen 2 PBs so far here for these runners. We see Itchy with a PB and Sarantian PB as well.
Yeah, Itchy's last run, the splits were weighted to a big mistake at the end, where here it's been a solid run, and now he's above that solid run pace by a good margin.
Yeah.
Here, so that's just excellent to see.
And again, it's just indicative to like the amount of work that all these runners have been putting in over the past couple of months. Because like I said, again, even though we just started doing these heats last week, these runners have been grinding this game down for the past 2 months, and the hard work's really showing.
Yeah, I think the announcement was in April, right? That we're going to have a Mega Man 3 tournament. Even no details were known, but hey, it's going to happen.
Right, yeah. Gathering interest. Might even been late March, yeah. So, once that announcement came up, people got excited. They started doing, putting attempts in like pretty much right away. We're getting down to an interesting time here too, because we're approaching the final half an hour here. So you might see runners being just a little more selective on which kind of runs they want to keep.
Yeah, you can't complete 2 runs.
Yeah, at this point,
if you're as deep as Von Rufio, then you could.
Yeah, he'll be able to finish this way, and I think that's probably why he's continuing here. Well, he's still in the green, which is good. Even with the death, But
I think his heat PB did have a death there anyway. I think it was just identical, so it's kind of a wash.
oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, at this point with the timer, it's worth just even finishing this run regardless, just because. I feel like, anyways, because it'll take him like another 10 minutes to finish this run, which will give him about 20 minutes left to get a good run started. But yeah, you might see.
The timer's a restriction on the resets. They'll finish whatever run is at the mark.
So a runner could effectively, with 1 second left on the timer, start a new run, and we'll be able to finish that run as long as they get the run started before the timer runs out. Which is good for everybody because it gives us some bonus Mega Man to watch, which is always a good thing. Alright, we got Zio coming into the final fight here. Their timer got messed up in the first run, but I believe on this pace we're ahead of the previous best in this competition. So
yeah, it was like a 55, 57 maybe, and so they're. I don't want to jinx it because I'm a commentator, but it's looking good.
Yeah, so the timer on the screen there, you can see we're just about 30 minutes left in this heat to get runs started.
All right, GG, that looked like a 19, 53-19. Oh, he got the fast walk, did he? Like, if you just slide around the screen before if you're sliding when your cutscene starts, you'll walk quickly to the spot where you're standing. It makes 0 difference RTA, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It does make a difference JRTA.
JRTA, yeah.
You want to be standing there. That's where you want to just stop. You don't want to be sliding around.
Yeah, so GG, big GG to Zia there. Solid run. Tops their best time from previously. Always love to see the improvement there.
So was there Zio's time? Was their old run on the leaderboard?
Yeah, there was a run from, like, I'm assuming if it's Zio on the leaderboard, then if it's the same person, then yes. There was a 46:52 was the time on the leaderboard, which again was from 2012. So I don't know how much they've played since then, but either way, you know, you'd love to see the improvement here.
I believe the leaderboard started in like 2009, right? So that's old school running.
Right, yeah. Like I said, that's the cool thing about these tournaments is it always brings people back to the game.
Yeah, I mean,
it brings a lot of new. Yeah, I was gonna say it brings a lot of new people into it, which is like really this really cool thing. But it also, in the other way, it brings a lot of old people back who haven't run the game for a long time. Or are like, hey, cool, I remember this game. I love this game. I want to give it a shot. Or I'm gonna come back.
I mean, I was born in the 80s, so it seems weird to me to think of anything in the 2000s as, old school. But as far as speedrunning goes, I mean, this game came out in 91, same year as Link to the Past, so it was just a good year for gaming all around.
Yeah.
Ahmad's doing these balloon strats in Bright. These are bizarrely difficult, very finicky, but and it's actually kind of easy to go through that room with balloons, to be honest, but it's hard to get the path where you're minimizing how many grasshoppers you activate, because the major lag in that screen comes from an activated grasshopper. If you don't jump on them, maybe their sprites lag a little bit, but their motion is really what drags you down. So
yeah, we saw that previously earlier on. We saw a death there, and I'm assuming due to a missed jump input because of the lag, because I think it was a mod. It just kind of slid right off of the balloon into the spike. So
yeah, exactly. If you activate a grasshopper that you didn't mean to, that you have to change your muscle memory. Like, it's an instant adjustment because your timing is going to be off.
Yeah. We got Polari back on the screen here, going through the Drill Man fight. We took a little bit of a break earlier, so it is worth noting that the runners can do what they will with their time. Like, for instance, if somebody got a good run right away, we've seen this a couple times throughout the heat. Somebody got a good run right at the start, and they decide that they're happy with that, and they're done. Then that's totally cool. We do encourage the runners to take the full 3 hours, but there's no restrictions on that. Like, if you get a good run at the beginning and you're happy with it and you're done, like that's totally fine.
So you just set the world record and tap out.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess since we're in the last half an hour here, so again, these are the qualifying heats for the Mega Man 4 tournament. We've had 9 total heats. This is the 9th and final heat. We've had 55 total runners compete over the course of 9 separate heats. Each runner is only able to compete in one of the heats. We give them 3 hours to do as many run attempts as they can fit into those 3 hours. And the best finished run that they can post within those 3 hours will be their final time, qualifying time. And as you can see in the middle of the screen here, the top 32 times qualify for the Cossack Cup, which is the bracket portion of the tournament. And seeding will be arranged based on their position on the top 32 here. At this point, anything over 29 is considered safe and guaranteed that you're going to be in. So the runners are basically just looking to either improve their spot on the leaderboard or try to break up onto the leaderboard. Here, an unfortunate death there for Itchy right at the end of that water section. A little too far to the left, jumped into that spike. We'll have to, not the worst death because the checkpoint was just a screen before, but just having to go through this water section again is never a good time. Looks like Ahmad's got a good run going here. Can keep on pace here. This will be the last run he'll get into. But has time to restart again if needed. Looks like Von Rufio, I didn't see what happened. Maybe took another death there, but we restarted the run there before we finished.
Pilar just had a really good Toad stage. Like, the only problem was that he got a big weapon drop, so he ended with way too much ammo. But other than that, it was great. Because you'll have one extra bright if you do the stage without any drops, and then... Oh, Von Rufio got frozen now. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
That's
so much going on.
All right.
Rufio's got a magic pixel, Ahmad's got a magic pixel, so nice jump skip.
In sync too, that was beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
That makes you happy. So yeah, Polari actually, in really good pace here out of the 8 robos.
You just picked up Rush Marine, which is really important.
It's actually worth noting that Polari was actually at number 32 before HJA finished his run. So Polari, I believe, is now sitting at number 33. So he's going to be looking to break back onto the top 32 here. He's definitely on pace to do so, I believe, at the moment.
Mod is doing these Pharaoh strats in Dust, which is only faster due to
Can I get one?
the first room is actually faster to do with Bright, but the second room, if you use Bright, it lags a lot more. Because with Pharaoh, you can get rid of these ladybugs really quickly, whereas Bright, you have to leave them kind of, if the ones that are too high to shoot just stay on the screen, they just lag a bunch.
Got a lot of drops there, though, but do the drops contribute to the lag as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the sprite count. Big drops are worse than small drops.
Yeah. You got a couple big drops there, but it's actually considerably less laggy though, using Pharaoh versus Bright, even with the big weapon drops there.
But it's a very difficult to do the first screen with Pharaoh quickly. So starting out, Bright strats are probably faster for most runners.
Right. That was a great Crusher section there by Ahmad as well.
Yeah, like every runner has a specific little carve out that they like to get with by manipulating Ring, because how you throw Ring and when you jump afterwards really affects how it comes back to you. Like if you just hit A plus B at the same time, your Ring will go straight out and always jump up above your head and come down like a triangle pattern, which is something that you tend to want to avoid in the Crusher section, but it's good to use for other things which have hitboxes directly above your head.
We can deal with one.
It does a good job on the Dust fight there. You can see he did the 1 damage boost to stop the sucking animation from Dustman to make that fight go as fast as possible. Polari makes quick work of the Moth there as well in Cossack 1. So but yeah, definitely on pace to break back onto the top 32 here.
I definitely want to catch Polari and Cossack too. I don't think
And
I
actually,
paid attention to his routing.
If all goes well, actually, because he could finish this run and essentially start a new one as well.
Oh, yeah, good point. Itchy's trying. Ooh, just couldn't miss with the first drill. I don't think Itchy realizes that you can rain flush the start of Taco Trash, which is important to do because not only is it just faster time-wise, but the platforms are rotating while your health is filling, but you can't move, so you're gonna miss a bus if you don't
Oh, that's a
rain
good
flush,
point. Yeah.
because you can jump up immediately onto the platform if you rain flush, and that's how you get the drill in as fast as possible on the hitbox.
But you can just see how unfortunate deaths are on the bosses in these later stages because there is no checkpoint there. So you basically just have to redo almost the whole level again, which is not only is it a big time loss, but it's very demoralizing too. So, but we've seen Itchy, again, overcome some frustrating moments before. So I don't doubt that they'll be able to come back from this one as well.
Yeah, Polari was down some balloons coming into Cossack 2, so he had to reroute his balloon strats on the fly, and he did really good with it. I believe Tired Monkey said something about him having trouble in Cossack 1 that I missed. Was that a balloon? Did he lose balloons there?
I didn't see either. I was watching a mod screen.
I just saw him climbing the last little bit of Cossack 2 with less balloons than he should have had.
Alright, so he gets a 2 there on the square machine for Polari at the bottom right.
That's a good boy.
Got enough health.
Thank you.
Gets 5 hits in. That was perfect. Hopefully we'll get a 1 here. Let's see.
Oh, Itchy's had to resort to Rush Coil for this section. Now these bats, like, you want to get out of this room as fast as possible because the bats are just relentless.
Chicken dance.
They'll just always block your vertical movement.
Alright, Polari did the thing what I mentioned earlier is that you can actually take damage as the square is moving if you're in the wrong position, which you actually did, but it didn't affect anything going forward, which is good.
Yeah, if you have the health, it's not a time loss. The top of the room can actually hurt you too. Like it's very hard to actually get hurt by it, but it can.
It's just you got to be very careful because
I think you have to try to get that one though.
Yeah, because you do take a lot of damage to that stage, and I've definitely died to this machine moving before, and again, there's no checkpoint, so it's just it's not fun. But
yeah, and the it's RNG which pass it takes is 3 pass 2 or 1, and they're not equally divided. So the most probable is a 2 pass and then a 3 pass. I think there's only a 1 in 10 chance that it becomes a 1 pass.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even know that. Yeah. So
to get a 1-1, it's 1 in 100.
Wow.
The second whale is a lot easier because
it's a very rare pattern, and it never happens if you're on good pace.
Yeah. It's one of those moments where you just think the game's like, just like a living thing, right? Like it just knows.
Yeah, exactly. It knows if my timer's red.
Yeah, which is completely
bit too early.
irrational. That's the word I'm looking for. But it's just one of those little things that we speedrunners believe sometimes.
Cool. Thank you, game for.
See, HJ is showing us the bright strats in this room, and you can see how it's noticeably laggier because some of those ladybugs on.
It's significant too. Like
go in qualifiers. Go to speed gaming.
Well, usually bright is a great lag reduction thing because at least the enemies aren't moving, so it does relieve some lag due to the motion of the enemies, but just them being there. Let's see if mine gets a skip. I'm gonna call it out here.
I think also too with the bright, because instead of like having one Pharaoh shot on the screen to take out the enemies, you're having like 2, sometimes 3 Buster shots on the screen too. So
right.
I'm assuming that contributes to the lag as well.
Yeah, I tend to never shoot 3 Busters on the screen if I can avoid it. I always shoot.
I think it only takes 2 to take those enemies out, right?
It takes 2 to take the enemies out.
Yeah.
Even if I'm riding the crickets in bright stage, I fire 2 bullets, never 3 leading. So like wait for them to connect and just do it in couplets. Because like 2 legs more than 1, but 3 is significant compared to 2.
Yeah, there's a weird thing about the NES. Yeah, it only takes like 1 extra sprite to really just contribute to the lag, in a lot of games really. So we got Polari. Let's see. Yeah, a good start to this fight. Gets the good RNG. Ooh, that was an awesome last hit there. Got him right in the end there.
Yeah, right in the middle.
That was great.
Best you can do is like to have the Vero shot almost leave his body while he's in iframes, and just like he becomes vulnerable right as the shot is leaving. That's like optimal.
Yeah, that was really great fight. HJ in the top right as well is ahead of his previous best pace. So you love to see that. He's looking to improve his spot on the leaderboard here a little bit more.
Big draw.
Isn't too far behind the next spot there, which happens to be Von Rufio, who's still competing with us here off screen. So they're kind of battling for position on the leaderboard. Polari's looking to get back in, so he was in the top 32.
Okay.
Was knocked out of the top 32 when HJA finished his run and got on there on the board. So Polari's looking to get back on the board here. He's on pace to do
And I was
so.
not sure how much bright I
Ahmad's got another good running going on the top left here, looking to improve his spot on the leaderboard as well. Currently sitting in 8th place.
And Jack's not that deep in, but he's still ahead.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He's
What
past the
are
major.
these
Polari,
big
yeah.
missiles?
Polari definitely has the skills, has the time, is definitely can you know, put up the time here. He's on pace to do so. We'll keep an eye on him as he goes through here. I don't think we've seen one person not do the hurt box deletion trick here on Taco Trash.
Ahmad didn't. I saw him do a ring fight.
He didn't do it earlier. Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
But
just thought of that.
yeah, unfortunate time loss.
It's an interesting dance you do, like, because you have to know like where the platforms are. Like the platforms are always going to spawn in the same place, so you're always on the same cycle. So if you always do the same thing, it's going to be the same, except for the fact you have to adjust to whether he throws a ball from the top or a fireball
Right.
from the nose.
Yeah.
Still on the hunt.
World
for a
record
better
in
time.
qualifiers. That is exactly right. I was
Yeah.
very surprised to wake up this morning. I didn't even know that until like middle of the stream. I just happened to look at the top time. I was like, that doesn't make sense as a top time. That's an impossible time.
Yeah.
No one's
1 second
ever
world
done
record.
that before.
Yeah. Again, yeah, we've seen 2 new world records in this game the past couple of days. It's just amazing. And again, just a shout out to all the runners again. You know, like when it started, like, you know, like I personally thought like the cutoff would be like a high 42, low 43 time. As you can see right now, it's about a mid 41 is the cutoff there at 32. So just the amazing performance from all these runners here. Really, it's been really awesome to watch, and expect nothing less to continue in the bracket portion of the tournament as well.
I expected more, you know, people adapting to be having more reliable strats, so I didn't even expect any 37s.
Happy fish.
But
Yeah, I honestly me neither. Like when Not Riley posted the 3809, I said it
Oh
multiple
my
times in
God.
chat. I'm like, that's going to be really tough to beat.
and then someone's pushing a 36. What is that?
Oh,
That
I
is just
slept
right.
on the path
Yeah.
forward. Thank you
The
for
consistency of all the runners too has just been amazing. Like we've seen some really good times.
Wow.
I mean, the
That
top
was
18 is
scary.
sub 40. A sub 40 in this game is a pretty significant milestone in my
That was
opinion,
hella
and
scary.
it's really been amazing. Really awesome performance by all the runners here.
Itchy is doing the
That could have been
skull
a
machine,
bit too
having
scary
a much
for
easier
my
time
taste.
of this go around.
Yeah, so Ahmad is on, you know, you can see he's in the green ahead of his previous pace. He's on a really good pace here out of the 8 robos. Mid 18 teleport, the 1830 something teleport is really good. Polari still on great pace, had a great stage there. He's looking to take
Jack
on the
taking-
Metal Den.
I love that extra like step back that Jack did before the wire pit. He didn't just cancel; he like
Oh,
took
I
a
didn't
step
even,
back. He's like, "I'm
slip
not
from the
going near that
platform.
pit."
I mean the runners make it look easy, but to avoid that pit, but it's really easy to misstep and fall right into that pit.
Jump was
Where
too
the I
small.
guess it's not really a pit,
Not
but
height.
it's essentially a pit, a death pit, and as far as like a speed run's concerned.
Okay, so it looks like
Oh, great fight, great Metal Daddy
Like,
fight there by
he's
Polari.
coming along,
Then that
ready
fish
to,
is the MVP for real.
put up a personal best for the. What's the personal heat best for Itchy?
Come on.
No, it was a 45.
45 something. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So he's just gonna finish out this run and then start his last one. It looks like. Looks
Yeah.
like HJA has just
I think I
started,
was
so
quite
we'll
bit
kind of
too
have
precise with the
a
jump.
racing
Oh.
situation. looks
Yeah, I
like.
didn't see what happened to HJ. He was
I-
on good
I-
pace there,
Sort
but
of
I didn't
sliding
catch the.
immediately,
Yeah, he was in dive, so he wasn't
but
that deep
very,
into it.
very,
Or he was in
very
dive just a
slow
second.
Oh, maybe
ago.
he's death to dive man probably because he was close to the end there. But man, still have enough time to start a new run. So he's got enough time too. Like if he makes a couple early mistakes, he can restart the run here. We've got 12 minutes left. So again, Runners have until the timer in the middle runs out to 0. You can reset and restart a new run as long as you're within the timer. Once the timer hits 0, you essentially just either finish the run you're in currently, or that's the end of it. Yeah. So, all right. So GG to Itchy, the kitty, finished with a 47. They did get a PB, a real PB earlier, according to the leaderboards anyway. So I always love to see that. That's a good point too in chat there, because sometimes like this format and being in this situation can sometimes put a little more pressure on you, which makes it harder to kind of compete and play at your best level. But
Well, not the most.
I really haven't seen that too much here. Like everybody's like pretty much playing either up to or exceeding like their own like personal level of skill, which is it's just been really amazing to see.
Yeah, well, I think Polari's on a bit of a redemption run because I think, I know he can do
yeah,
the time he's put on, and so it looks like this run is going to be much better.
I was gonna say you got a little scare there sliding off the platform with a jet. It looked like that's an intentional strat though, but it had a death there earlier, so I'm glad not to see that this time.
Everything is just.
All right, yeah, we're gonna take out the hitbox or the hurt box here. Get right up in there, shoot a drill to get rid of the hurt box, so you can stand right inside of Taco Trash there and finish him off with that rings. Beautiful. Now we got Zeo back on the screen here too, is ahead of their previous best run, so that's you always love to see that. Interesting strat through there. Decides to just take damage and slide through the spikes.
Yeah, that's a good backup for if you have spawn with a bullet. It's not the fastest backup, but it's certainly the easiest to perform.
Yeah, so it looked like that was just his intended strat because he was still on the Buster when he entered that room.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
Oh no. Oh,
like I said, his previous PB is from 2012, so it's always interesting to go back and watch like runs from years ago, just to see like what different strats are being used at the time.
Zeo flashed that room 3 times because you can see a lot of the walking, so that's kind of how you can see how the movement really affects how many times you flash. You should be able to get through it in 2 pretty easily, but 1 is very difficult.
Yeah, if
very,
you saw
very difficult.
You saw on Sir Antion's screen there too the effective use of Pharaoh through the hitting those like Saturn type enemies. It's just it's
kill
really
all
cool.
The Saturns.
It's really cool to see. It's cool, especially because the Pharaoh weapon shoots at like the angles too. So it's really cool to watch it done like precisely like that.
Yeah, it shoots in 6 directions. It can't go down or up.
So mods on the square machine. Looks like it's a 3 on the second pass through. I didn't see what the first pass through was.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
Jump there.
Because he's
gonna have to.
He had to modify his fight because he couldn't take damage. I'm sure
just got that last hit in though. That was really close to getting an extra cycle there. So that was really well done there by a mod. It's really tough not to panic in that situation, you know, like especially like if you miss a jump there because it changes the fight completely.
Right.
So really good poise there.
And it is much better to get an extra cycle than to die.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's one of the worst deaths. Any Cossack death is really bad, except for Cossack 4. Cossack 4 boss, like you respawn pretty close.
All right, so Polari's making his way through the refights here. It's a good start to the refight so far. Sarantian,
Sarantian's using the bright strats.
Yeah.
Which is nice because you can sneak under this guy always.
Yeah, because those Crusher enemies do a lot of damage as well on contact. Alright, nice fight there.
Oh, Zeo in the drink.
That's touch. It's one of the. I was saying this earlier. It's one of the hardest rooms in the game to do fast, or even just in general.
Yeah, because the flowing water affects your horizontal movement, and the vertical water affects your vertical movement. And if you're sliding to the edges, some of those you can't jump out of a slide at the edge due to the waterfalls going down. Because if your toe touches the waterfall coming off the next platform, you can't jump out of your slide.
Yeah. It's really frustrating for being a newer runner too, because you can't understand like why like you're seemingly moving correctly, but
yeah, no doubt. It was a long time before someone explained to me that ladders do that, and so do downward waterfalls.
Yeah,
like why my thing was getting eaten. That happens to me in drill stage in the triple turret room where you freeze in the first frame. when you're trying to do a slide off that last platform, you're right next to a ladder, so there's a good chance you'll get eaten. Oh, he spawned the wall. I'm not sure he doesn't. I'm not sure he realizes he cannot skip that. Okay, he just bailed. Good.
Yeah.
Probably the best
Speaking
move.
of drill, Polari had a real scare on the drill man refill. He was down to, I think, two ticks of health, and drill was coming out of a dive. He was able to finish it off.
You see that head shake? He's just mad about the RNG, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he got two. I saw at least 2 dives from drill man. It might have been 3. Hopefully, Dustman will cooperate here.
Not great. Oh, he's got enough to. Does he want to risk? He's saving his health. It looks like he has enough health to run.
He
into
does have
him
enough
again.
health to take another hit, but it's very risky there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's the right call in that situation for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 dives. Oh wow. Yeah.
And sometimes dust is weird. If you kill him up high, sometimes the health refill sticks up there. So the only way to retrieve it is to like balloon or coil to it, and so that's frustrating. So if he would have done the damage boost and got a bad little stuck health fill, he would have had to do this fight either with low health or after menuing to a different weapon to retrieve.
Yeah.
Hey!
I'm not gonna say anything yet. I'll let him finish this first. We're gonna get Von Rufio back on the screen here as well. Okay, good. I was gonna say, so we're still on the really good pace here. You know, just with good RNG on the final boss here, it could be a sub 40, which will get him back on the leaderboard here.
Von Rufio likes to do a zip here, so you might want to watch out for that. Oh, yeah, he's setting up for a zip. Big crowd pleaser. He's just here for you guys to. Oh, he didn't go far enough, but that's good enough to get him
Still
faster
got it,
than he usually would get the crusher otherwise.
Yeah, it's a cool strat.
That zip does not save time because to set it up, you actually have to wait a quarter cycle, but it's not
purely,
that much slower.
It's just it's for the fans there, yeah.
Well, no, for Von Rufio, it is for speed. He's like, I just can't do fast crusher. I can do.
Oh, yeah.
And and when it comes down to things I'm going to practice a zip.
I'm always in the belief that if it looks cooler, it's faster, regardless of whether it is or not.
Swag is speed.
All right, here we go. Go Polari. He's got plenty of ammo. Hopefully get some good stuff. 2 spawns. He's getting some really unfortunate RNG at the end of this round, but he's
at least 1 double.
Staying strong.
The RNG is what killed the sub 40, but that was a
nice.
4008 looks like.
Yep, 4008.
Very good job.
Yeah, GG. Amazing. Coming in really though, less than 5 minutes left too. Just puts in that run, and that's going to get him back on the leaderboard and actually put him in a pretty good position here. I was going to move him. Let's see. 4008 is actually going to put him in 20th place.
Great job.
So again, Polari was at 32. HJ, who was also in this heat, finished his run, knocked Polari off of the top 32, and now Polari, with just under 5 minutes left in the heat, gets himself all the way up to 20th place with that run. That's amazing. That's awesome. GG. I'd love to
Polari's
see that.
PB is a 38:44, which is a really good time. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure he's just knocking.
I'm actually.
When he comes to brackets, he'll like knock it out of the park.
I'm curious if he's actually gonna, if he's satisfied with that, or if he's gonna start a new. He's got time to start another run. So we'll see if he decides to start a new one or not. It looks like Sarantian just started a run here, so if they have a good stage here, they might just continue. This might be their final run here. Von Rufio is a little bit behind his current best, but he does have plenty of time to save, especially in Cossack 3 with the death. So we'll see if this is the run that he decides to stick with, or if he decides to restart one more time. Ahmad, unfortunately, won't be able to start a new one after this one, so I think he's just going to stick with this one. Unless something really unfortunate happens, he does have time to restart one more time, but this might be the last run for Ahmad.
That was a really good section there.
And HJ just recently started a new run, so you know, as long as nothing happens here, this will probably be the final attempt for him as well.
Oh, you can do 40 resets a minute in Pharaoh, so...
And I'm checking off screen here, so Polari is deciding to continue, so he's going to start another run here, so we'll get some extra Mega Man here for sure.
Nice pattern from Bright from Saru if you're doing the Buster strat. Like when you're beating him with Buster, you want him to stand and shoot, and when you're beating him with Pharaoh, you want him to jump around. So it's kind of like, but there's really no way to manipulate it.
Yeah, and so you can see Von Rufio there decides not to continue that run. He wants to try to get something a little better going here, so decides to take a reset. Ahmad's taking on Metal Daddy here. I think Ahmad's ahead of his previous best run now. Let me see if I can get a better look at that.
I feel the same way, adversary. Like, I had no clue when someone started up. I thought I was getting trolled in the chat when someone was like, oh, someone got the record yesterday. I was like, that was not yesterday.
Alright, so gets through the fight. So Ahmad's just slightly behind his previous best run here, but it seems like he's just going to continue this one out. Probably have some time to save in the last couple of stages here.
Seems to be
just under 2 minutes left in this heat. Again, this is the final heat of 9. We've had 9 total heats to qualify for the bracket of the Mega Man 4 tournament, the Cossack Cup, as we're calling it. This is the final heat, the final 7 runners out of 55 total we had. In the top 32, as you can see in the middle here, will advance to our bracket here. So runners have just about a minute and a half to settle in their final run attempts here. And again, anybody who started a run before the timer runs out is allowed to finish that run, but they cannot start a new one afterwards.
Okay, so Mannix is confirming that Itchy has called it for the day, so GG's to him.
GG to Itchy, yeah, everyone give a GG
going.
to Itchy because they got a new PB during this competition, which is really, I mean, it's really tough to do on this stage, in this environment, so huge GG there. And hopefully we'll see them continue on into the Kalinka Cup, which, so again, anybody who doesn't make the top 32 here, they will also have the option to join a separate bracket tournament that will hold for any other runners who want to continue to compete. So even if you don't make the top 32, you still have a chance to put all that hard work to use. Because again, these runners, we knew about this tournament. The idea was brought up, by Looking Toad, a little over 2 months ago now. So runners have been grinding their times down for at least that long.
For it, whatever.
Call for resets.
Let's go for the fast kill.
All right, so they're locked in place now. So they're gonna finish.
Yeah,
this
so the
run.
timer is out. Oop, we're getting positive.
Yeah,
time
see, Ahmad's doing the real fight.
Cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Sorry
Awesome.
to be a gatekeeper there, but yeah, that's the real fight. I don't do the real fight, but that is the real fight.
Well.
Yeah, so we are currently, we've reached the 3-hour mark, so all the runners now are to their final runs. Looks like Von Rufio just got a new run started right before the timer ran out, I should say. So this will be his final attempt and everybody else's final attempts as well. Yeah, we got positive time going now. What does that mean?
Place RNG, guys. That's all
Cheers
I need
now.
from you.
It's like stoppage time in soccer, right? Something like that. Looks like Sarantian, I don't know what happened, but that's gonna do it for that. I'm starting a new run here, but I think that's past the time. So unfortunately, that's not gonna do it for them. But either way,
good showing at the number 10 spot.
10th spot, top 10 is really good. And also they got a PB as well. They got a new PB during this the one of 2 runners to get a new PB so far. So GG them for sure. Again, the timer is at 0. There we go. We're getting it updated there, so perfect. So again, each runner is in their final attempts now. Sarantian in the bottom left, I believe started after the timer ran out, so this run will not count towards the qualifier, but
We'll show it for content.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is he gonna do? Play something else? No.
Yeah, we'll get some bonus Mega Man for all you guys out there, all you Mega Man fans. Hopefully, we'll see him. So the refights, I'm sure there's time to save in the refights because there's just so much that can go wrong here. Let me see if I can confirm that on his splits here. So
Always time to save in a refight just because.
Yeah, let's say just according to these splits, anyways, it's about want to say, I think it looks like 10 seconds between the best time he's gotten through the refights today and what's in his previous best. So yeah, definitely have some time to save here.
Mad Mega is our timing official for this run, and he has determined that Sourtown.
Okay, so we're gonna keep the. Oh, cool. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it just was a streaming delay issue.
Okay, yeah.
Because
to see that.
They're doing this through IRC, so they have a much lower ping rate or ping latency.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Well, you'll love to see that. Yeah. And Rufio's pumped up. He's ready to go. I'd love to see that too. All right. Hopefully we don't get any dives here for Ahmad in the top left. Looking good so far.
Yes, good boy, dive.
Nice.
Good boy. Oh, these mod menus.
Von Rufio made the stressful jump.
Oh my god.
Pressing start too early.
God.
Yeah, so that jump is everyone makes it look so easy. That jump is not easy.
I haven't seen it miss this heat.
No, unless it's happened off
we're
screen.
Past the point where that was going to be a curse. So
yeah,
I haven't seen it miss this heat. That's pretty cool.
Oh, well, actually, no. Sarantian's coming into Pharaoh now.
Oh, well, he's behind in time. Like, think about it. Like,
oh, true. Yeah. It's already happened. Yeah.
What I have said, so I can't curse him. Like
true.
Spooky curses at a distance. Then he's fine.
Okay, good. You made it. Yeah. That jump's really tight. So yeah, if you fall down there, you can't go back up, which means you can't get the balloon, which means you basically can't continue the run. I mean, you could, but
there are strats. It's not even a minute slower, but it's a lot. It feels bad, and you probably haven't practiced the strats.
All right, Ahmad is pumped up going into the Wily Machine fight. I think he knows he had good refights, and he's going to save some time here. He was pretty pumped up before this fight started, so we'll see what happens here in the top left.
Yeah, there's a cute thing you can do for that jump, and is just deploy rush and then just jump. You'll see Choney do it in the AGDQ. If you look at what he did, it makes no sense whatsoever for why he deployed rush there. But had he gotten hit, rush would have zipped to his X location and then sprung him back over the pit. So it looked like just a time waste, but it was a safety that he actually didn't need.
A very tiny. Oh, we're missing.
But you'll only see that in marathon settings.
Bad. That might be really bad.
So yeah, you can see Ahmad there with the gold in the refights, which I think puts him ahead of his previous best run. It's kind of hard to tell on the restream here,
right,
but
let's go.
Is that a little squiggly minus sign or a little squiggly plus sign?
Regardless, it's really good pace here for Ahmad. He's closing in on another really solid run. And according to the time, yeah, if he gets a good if he gets a good pattern here, he might be able to top his time here. We'll see. Hope for those double hits here. You see that laser focus.
Great spawn location.
Oh no! Oh.
No good spawns anymore.
Still looking good on time though.
Oh, he has to pause for the ammo.
No.
29, so that was like a minus 7 seconds. Does that move him at all?
Yeah.
We got
Oh, he bumped Colonel Fatso, didn't he?
Yes.
I can't tell if that says 15. Let's see. No, Fats has a 15, so it's not gonna.
Oh, I thought that was a 20.
It's not gonna move him up, but you love to see that though. Just finish the run right at the end there. Best run of the day for Ahmad there. Really solid time, really solid showing there, really consistent. And you can tell, yeah, he's definitely one of the top competitors in this tournament. So GG to Ahmad there.
Yeah, he's in the Finnish invasion of this game with him and Polari.
Yeah, and Von Rufio as well.
Von Rufio. So this is the Finnish lineup.
Yeah. Be sure to give all these guys a follow too. All these runners are amazing speedrunners, amazing members of the classic Mega Man community, and just amazing people in general. So make sure you give them all a follow. I believe there's a command for that.
Oh, he got his 2x!
Does that work?
Yes!
I think so.
That was his
Oh, it doesn't have all of them on there.
Yeah, I think the command bot is limited to 4.
All the Twitch names are located on here as well. They all go by the same names on here, except for Handsome Jackass.
we PG-13 his name, or he is DPG-13 his name. He just goes by HJA now, routinely, though, because weird censoring issues with like auto mods didn't like him in different chats.
But HJ, speaking of which, is on good pace here to beat his previous best run. But again, safely in the top 35. So regardless of or top 32, excuse me. So despite what happens in this run, he's guaranteed himself a spot in the bracket.
Sorry you got to see his face.
If I'm not mistaken, I think these are our last 4 competitors.
She has dropped.
Nope, Zio's still going as well. So we got Zio off stream here. Who's still going?
Yeah,
so
Zio's in dive stage he's gonna leave dive at about a 16 something.
So yeah, again, the timer is at 0, so this will be the last run attempts for all these runners here. All these runners are going to look to improve on their best time there.
Alright. I should have saved a little time there, I think. Gold. Okay.
I'm still amazed that the line there at the bottom is a mid 41. Like, that's just incredible. Again, these runners have just put on such a show over the past week here.
Yeah, sub 42 takes some work. I mean, that's not a trivial time to get in this game by any means.
That's awesome.
The fact that we could
And this is like a lot of like good runners too, like that are just like outside of that top 32 too. It's really just shows like just the quality of. Oh no! Polari slips in after the whale fight hits the spike there and has to start the stage over. That's unfortunate. That might do it for him. He might just decide to finish this run out anyways, but very unfortunate death there.
I think he should finish. Go for it.
You might as well. Alright, Serantian is coming into the dust fight here. Hopefully get some good RNG. Oh, second death for Polari. Okay, yeah. So
Hate it when that happens.
might just decide to finish this run. It's always good to finish runs, especially in this this atmosphere, if you will, just to get practice. Von Rufio on the other end takes a death to dust and decides not to continue. So that's gonna wrap it up for Von Rufio today. Big GG to Von Rufio, who is going to, well, is currently sitting at the 28th spot with a 41-12. So again, guaranteed to make the brackets. So we'll see him in the tournament going forward. So big GGs to Von Rufio today. But it is good to practice in this situation, though. Under this in this environment. Because you don't get that when you're just doing PB attempts, like, in the comfort of your own stream or place, if you will. It's just it's definitely different running in this environment versus just like doing your normal PB attempts. So it's good to, even if you're not on pace to beat your previous best time, it's good to just continue on and practice anyways, just to get used to that feeling.
It's just a fun game. Finish your runs.
I think
that's what no one
who was that
watches my stream,
person?
though.
That person in chat earlier said you need to play more Mega Man 4.
Exactly.
That's it.
That was Tiki Marsala.
There
I remember that name because I like Tiki Marsala. Just for fun, I looked up what if when I started running, what a 41-38 was, and that would land you in 38th place. So
wow.
The fact that now that we can just throw together a tournament and have people show up 32 times above that is wonderful.
That's incredible, yeah. And again, yeah, like I was saying earlier, it just shows like the quality of the runs and attempts that we've seen here this week. Yeah, GG's to everybody who's finished thus far. We had I know they're in the chat now, but is it Itchy or Icky the kitty? We've been saying Itchy. Well, hopefully that's correct.
Just because we're Itchy and Scratchy fans.
Yeah. But they were able to get a PB earlier, like a true PB. So GG's to them. Again, Ahmad finishing in 8th place on the leaderboard here. Ichi. Okay, thank you. Ahmad on finishing in 8th place. We had Von Rufio qualified there at 28th place. See you guys all in the chat. So GG. I see Polari in the chat too. They might have decided to call it there as well. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so again, GG's to Polari. So again, Polari had a quite the adventure here today. Made it to the 32nd spot. HJ knocked them off the board, and then right in the final minutes there was able to finish and actually get up to 20th place. So amazing effort there. So yeah,
Can't wait to play against Riley. Yeah, there you go.
Again, 22 seconds to save.
So yeah, and I believe now we have our final 3 competitors here on the stream. So actually no, I think we gotta get yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah. Valid. Yeah.
So what did I do? I lost my thing. Here we go. Yes, I can't tell how far behind HJ is from their previous best time, but certainly have the capability to
It's
better their
digit.
time.
Yeah, it's single digit red.
Is
This
it?
late in the
Yeah.
game.
Rufio by 4 seconds.
With this much game to go, he's fine.
Yeah, so there's a really good chance for him to better his time on the leaderboard. Yeah, it looks like it's about three and a half seconds behind previous best.
So Ratayan's gonna finish up Dive Man here. So, all right, no, he's moving on to Drill. I think he's moving on to Toad. Oh, I got my order confused. Never mind.
Sloppy?
Because I wanted to highlight something at the beginning of Toad stage. If he has good movement, I wanted to show
Those slinkies.
the animation of the Bright Stopper flash. Like you can actually gauge someone's movement at the very beginning of Toad's to how long that screen stays white when they're sliding.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna shout that out. HJ is the most stressful screen in my opinion.
Yeah. We were talking about this screen earlier, yeah. Especially just like jumping over those enemies that come out of the pit is just it's super stressful. And then you mentioned that part about the ice there too. They should do some goofy things to you as well.
Well, everyone hates the balloon jump and Pharaoh stage. That room has 3 of those jumps in it. And you have monsters chasing you up if you do it too slow. So
I don't think anyone's ever thought of it that way, but now that you've said that out loud, I think everyone's gonna just panic now going forward on that screen.
and there's ice. So yeah, it's just a stressful room.
Well, HJ is through with no issues there. So
That was really ugly.
a little low on health. I'll have to be careful in this fight, but usually it's not an issue. Hopefully he'll be able to land those hits just fine.
Yeah, Polari is lamenting that he didn't get the animation skip. I've been waiting to commentate on it, and everyone's missed it every time I've lined up my commentary to notice. I was like,
So this is a question in the chat. So yeah, there was 9 total heats. Each runner is only able to compete in 1 heat, but they get 3 hours to do as many run attempts within that 3 hours to get their best time. So yes, so they get 1 attempt at qualifying in the heats, but they get multiple. I mean, 3 hours to do run attempts is good amount of time to get enough runs in. But yes, they can only compete in 1 of the heats.
Also, the thing I miscounted. I think there's only 2 Pharaoh jumps in that, but it's stressful.
I mean, yeah. Anything more than 1 of those jumps in a single screen is not a good time. All right, we'll see. Sarantian is on the drill fight here. Hopefully we don't get. There's 1 dive. And just 1 looks like it.
The Slurpee Ohan lineup, that's going to just be a good stream regardless, because they're both really good runners.
Yeah.
This isn't Slurpee's game, but he's still a great streamer and a great guy and great Mega Man player.
Yeah, again, I mean, I can't say it enough. Like the fact that the bottom line on the top 32 is a mid 41 is just mind blowing. Like you said, like a couple years ago when you started running, like a 41, 38
I'm
would
gonna
have put you in.
watch. I'm gonna watch Soratan's first screen here. I want to see it flash. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
This isn't gonna happen because the commentator's cursed, but I just want to see it.
So what we're looking for here is we're looking for one flash. So we'll see a flash in the beginning here, and then
Okay, you got 2 slides in on 1 flash. That means that particular bit of chaining was, you know, superb. That was.
Oh
unexpected.
no!
That was.
Going off of the 2.
It's not the worst death.
It's not bad.
It might be too much for him to come back from as far as like beating his best time, but
Yeah, it's hard to read his splits.
Yeah, but I think he'll continue on regardless. All right, so
Jetting
this is
over the spikes is respectable. Like,
Ooh, I almost messed it up.
I feel like I tried to avoid that strat too early in my running. I should have just, you know, jetted. I would have been much happier as a beginner.
Yeah.
It doesn't lose that much time.
Yeah, it looks like Sarantian took another death there, so I think they might be calling
He's
it now.
validating his reset.
Yeah. Again, it's a really tough stage. It's one of the tougher stages to do fast. A lot of precise jumps and movement that you have to do there, and a lot of opportunities to die, unfortunately. But regardless, you know,
I mean, he made it. He's top 10.
Yes, top 10. He got an official PB as well, one of 2 runners during this heat to beat their personal best. So big GG to Sarantian, who also is worth noting just picked up this game recently as well for the tournament. So the
It's so nerve-wracking.
you know the improvement,
the rapid
just
ascent,
the progress, has been really good to see. And but it's no stranger to Classic Mega though. He's currently the world record holder of Mega Man 9. Rockman run, so definitely a force to be reckoned with in all of Classic Mega, really. So I'm not surprised, but this game's hard. This game's really hard.
A lot different than 9. Just like the sliding Mega and the walking Mega are just different feels. Like,
Yeah,
it's a different skill
absolutely.
set.
Thanks for the drops.
This is the last heat. Yes, this is the 9th heat out of 9 that we've had.
Yeah,
Yeah, these would be the last 2 run attempts of the qualifiers here.
they're both looking good too.
Yeah, Zio's ahead of his pace right now of his previous best run, which is always love to see that.
And even at +7, like 7 seconds in refights is just RNG. Like it's
Yeah, exactly. So
like I wouldn't even pay attention to that in a non-RTA setting.
Yeah, so don't tune away yet, because Handsome HJA here does have a chance to improve his spot on the leaderboard here. Currently sitting at 29th, only 4 seconds behind the next spot, and definitely on pace to better that time. Yeah, the sliding megas are really intimidating. And
This is an issue of style, how he goes through this boss door, whether he turns around and does a moonwalk. Or, yeah, there's a moonwalk. You can jump through it and you'll walk through the air. You can air walk through it. You can air moonwalk. There's just a weird like auto animation glitch.
oh, doesn't get the downward throw to get that first hit in, but
Yeah, that puts him down a Pharaoh, which, as we've seen from other runners, that can be very scary
Time here.
to see in the later game.
yeah,
'cause
it didn't slow the fight down too much, but yeah, the ammo usage becomes a concern.
It's an easy fix right before the refights if you remember that you're down a Pharaoh, even if you want to fix it, because it's probably not even worth fixing. It's a matter of taste.
Right.
Gonna go
It's just one of those little things that you just have to be aware of, and you know we're 10 minutes or so away from the end of the run here, but it's something that you have to remember for that long, basically, right?
Yeah, you have to remember how many times you miss the moth, how many times you miss Taco Trash, and how many times you miss the Metal Daddy to know how many rings that you're short.
Yeah. So he's gonna elect to just refill right at the beginning of the stage, which is probably a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the quickest big pickup to get. It costs you a menu, and that's about it. And a little bit of fall speed. And
Right. Yeah, I think it's totally worth the investment there. Like you said, I mean, just the refights alone, he could swing this in like 8 seconds the other direction, right? So.
Mhm. Yeah, a dive from drill is 4.2 seconds. And
Right,
I
exactly.
I don't know what RNG he's running against, but you know, it's easy to write off. Oh, I have never seen anybody bright these platforms before.
Oh, right, yeah.
I didn't know they spawned if you did that.
That's interesting. I don't know, get those 2012 strats coming through here. You'd love to see it.
Alright, sliding
Well,
back.
I mean, it's funny how much you use bright in the 8 robots, and then like you hang it up. Like after
Yeah,
the
that's
8
true.
robots, you
That's
just
a good point.
it's not that great. You'll see runners using Cossack 1 sometimes, but it's certainly not the fastest thing to do. Let's see if he does the air moonwalk again.
So we got HJ and the Cossack catcher, keeping him in one place. This is really
Yeah.
good. Oh, misses a
Yeah,
shot there.
you always just slide in that corner to keep him from moving around.
Sometimes he can come out, yeah, or like towards you, but that was a really solid fight there. My God, it's Wily again.
Oh, what? Cossack's not that bad?
Gets me every time.
Love this
All
man.
right, so HJ is going to be coming to the last 4 stages of the run here.
Another gold.
Can't tell. Let me see if I can get an update as to. Okay, so he's currently 4.3 behind his best runs, which is certainly well on pace to get a better time than he's posted. So you know, this run definitely matters. So nobody tune away.
All right, let's go Mets.
Shouts to Mr. Cad.
I was thinking this stage is like Sideshow Bob and the Rakes for me. I just hit every single net every time.
It's tough. Well, while
Because
they go through
a lot of them you have to get this little tight triplet of a shot out. This is a tight charge here. Like it's really easy to fire your charge shot too early and just miss that met. It's a lot of timing issues in this stage. But seeing it done well is pretty slick.
Yeah, for sure. Just take this quick opportunity just to just give a quick update of the heat from the other competitors. So earlier we had Ichi the Kitty finished with a 45 and change. I don't remember the exact seconds, but it was a PB for them. So congratulations. Again, we had Polari, who was at the 32nd spot, got knocked off by HJA, but was able to finish an incredible run with just minutes left on the timer, ended up in 20th place. So GG to them as well. We had Sarantian, who was super consistent, finished basically 3 runs right around the same time, ended up in 10th place with 38.44, which is also a PB, one of 2 runners to get an actual PB, so congratulations to them. We had Von Rufio, who finished with a 41.12, who's currently sitting in 28th place. Is in jeopardy here. HJ could pass him here, but regardless, Von Rufio is through to the next round, so congratulations to them as well. And of course, we had Ahmad as well, who was also super consistent throughout this heat. Finished the last run right at the closing minutes of the heat as well with a 38.29. Wasn't enough to move up a spot, but still is in 8th place and in solid position to really go far in the tournament. So again, GG's to all those guys today. And again, just big GG to everybody who's competed in these heats so far. It's been really awesome to see. There's a super high level of play. Like Vic was saying earlier, 41.38, which is at 32nd place right now. What was it, like you started like two years ago?
I started early 2017.
Okay, yeah. So that would have been good enough for, what did you say, 37th on the leaderboard at that
38th
time?
place, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just like, I don't know, that's just incredible. We've seen such amazing progress from all the runners here this week, so.
And so HJ has the potential to shuffle the top 32, but other than that, the 32 is set because Zio isn't going to finish in 7 minutes.
Yeah. So regardless of that, Zio is on pace to beat their previous best time in the heat. So you always love to see that.
Better standings in the Kalinka Cup, though. So that's important too.
Yes.
So again,
yeah. So again, anybody who's outside the top 32 does have the opportunity to participate in a separate bracket. It's called the Kalinka Cup, which again just gives the runners the opportunity to not put the, because all these runners have been playing now, grinding the game down for about 2 months now. So it just allows them to continue to compete, to use what they've learned, to continue learning, continue improving. So it's always good to have some extra competition there too. HJ is making quick work through the stage.
Yeah, he's being really safe with that jet. I mean, it's faster to do little single tile slides, which are kind of free in this game relative to Mega Man 3, but they're pretty scary still because
yeah,
mistakes are punished by death. That's the theme of the game.
Yeah.
He missed the rain flush. Jump.
Okay, he gets the drill shot in though, so he's able to slide right through the hurt box there. And that's taco trash. Nice stage there.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Saves a big chunk of time there. Wow.
Zio missed the Yoku, so he's got to do a recovery. Okay, he's opting for balloon. That's actually faster than, well, the fast way to do that, you'll lose 8 seconds if you can kind of jump up and you'll clip into the Yoku block, much like Heatman stage for any percent. But that's a timing issue. So if you just balloon, like he got there faster than if he would have clipped, but he cost a menu, so it was just a little bit slower.
Yeah, that's also a good point. So HJ not only is on really good pace to beat his previous best time, but he's also on really good pace to beat his all-time PB. So.
Right. He just picked up some ring and some dust. He didn't have to pick up Pharaoh because he did the Cossack 4 fill.
Yeah.
So that was just a trade-off for time on this stage.
Right. He did have to pick up that health refill though. It took some damage going through there. So, but again,
I don't know why he went bottom route, but. Because he took too much damage from these.
I'm assuming so. Yeah, he took damage on both of those green spawning enemies, where usually I think you just kill them.
Okay.
But here we go.
Pharaoh, you want to stand still, but you want him out of the teleporter. So I usually like to set up here because I kind of expect one jump, and then when he jumps, I'll just cross to the other side of him.
Yeah, this is a pretty good position here.
Perfect. See, now he's just right there.
Yeah.
He'll slide over there to Skull because he's going to carry over this weapon. Skull is a scripted fight. He's manipulatable, but the refights are a little bit harder to manipulate because you want him to actually give a big jump as opposed to that mid-sized jump where he jumps to the middle.
Ooh, gets a nice barrier there too. Oh, gets another one to spawn, but so they have.
I think he was surprised by how fast that barrier was.
Probably, yeah. So the length of the fight is scripted. The only RNG in that fight is the length of time that barrier stays on the screen. You can't damage him while it's on there either. So, but he gets a really quick one there. Keeping him really close to the teleporter here.
Job. And the health fill, he was full health, so it didn't slow him down at all.
Yeah, perfect. Now he's going to continue the skull barrier into the bright fight. You want to try to get 5 hits in.
Yeah, an odd number of hits, but 5 is
5's the standard,
usual because
unless you're faster.
Because even though rain does 4, it's slower than 2 hits from skull. But you can't if you hit skull the 6th time, that is a flashable health. He'll have, what is that?
Let's go, buddy.
24 health. And if he has, no.
Nah,
I can't do math in the head.
It's okay.
Anyway, he'll be on a health value where he could flash. So he does that rain. So it
it takes 1 tick of damage off there, which is
enough to save a missile.
Saves a missile. Yep.
Because if you don't have that flash and he dives with 1 health, it's just like the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
He gets 1 dive there. Oh, gets another one.
So RNG is not in his favor, but he's still.
He
came in with a good cushion.
Yeah, and he's got good RNG up until that point too. So
right, and I don't know what RNG he's running against.
Yeah, I'd be surprised though, like at this point, anyways, if he doesn't at least stay even, because it's up until that point it's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's lost nowhere near 24 seconds, so he's probably gaining time because his execution is
until
right
now, because you had to say something. No,
well, yeah. Again, Ring, for me, this is a really hard refight. It's scripted, so you shouldn't mess it up, but it's hard.
Yeah, especially because like how close you have to be to him, and again, any contact damage from the boss does 8 points of damage. And also, if you take damage with charging the Pharaoh, it resets the charge, right?
No, but it's very easy to get your charge eaten. Like if you hit him too early. Zio's looking for an intentional game over, it looks like. I don't know what happened there.
2 sucks right away. He damages the first one, but decides not to damage the second one. It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it looks like his health's okay, because he's going to get a 10...
Come on, dude. Really?
The damage does 8 when you take a body shot, but he's going to get a health fill that's for 10, so...
Yeah, I'm assuming, so he must know that he's on like good enough pace where he can afford to just kind of wait those out.
Yeah, plus when you're on good pace, you start shaking, and so you start doing safeties just because you're shaking.
Yeah, and which is a lot of the times that's why like mistakes are made, because like you don't know the safeties as well as you know like the normal strats. So when you start to like deviate from that, it can really throw a wrench in your plan. He ran out of ring there, so he's gonna have to.
Yeah, so he's leaving the last tick for drill.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, he deployed it. He's deploying it on purpose, and I don't know why he's doing that.
I'm gonna die here.
Because you definitely don't want to like self-detonate the drill, because that would ruin the fast fill.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Might have just been one of those in the moment kind of
twitchy fingers. Yeah.
It's gonna be really close here. I don't know what kind of capsule he's going against either,
Thanks a lot.
but it's gonna be close.
About this game is the last 2 splits are like, they're hard, but they also have RNG, and it's just tough to it's tough to know what pace you're on, especially if you don't have a good data set. Because
for sure.
Real cool.
These are new.
Freaking awesome.
It's gonna be close nonetheless. Unfortunate though there. Yeah, I think he had to use a couple of extra rings because of the RNG on Dust, and then ran out right before the last hit there.
This little caterpillar dash is kind of fun too. It's got a little bit of like technical movement. You can do that like 3 for 2 shots that I was talking about with like the half charges.
Yeah, it's really
just a
cool to
fun little
see
trick.
like the top runners do it because they make it look so easy, but it's kind of a difficult section, to do fast. All right, we'll see what kind of RNG he gets here. I don't think we're gonna beat the best time he's posted.
He's
Unfortunately,
good on ammo at least, but if Wily spawns right on top of him,
oh yeah, that health is a
like
little
that.
be able to finish this out.
Thanks for watching, everybody. The way I choke it.
GG.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate.
Good
spawn
showing.
there.
He should be happy with how his heat went, even if he's not happy with how
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
really good job.
the 41-16 that he posted in the heats here is only 10 seconds off of his actual PB. So that's, I mean, to be within 10 seconds of your PB in an environment like this is truly incredible. And the pace that he was on there just shows that, he has it in him to get a big PB, at any point really. So regardless, amazing showing there from HJ.
Yeah.
So
if
big GG
Future
there.
Jack came back and told him what his time was going to be in the heat, I'm sure he'd been like, "Holy crap!" But he would not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he wouldn't want it to end like that.
I think so. Yeah, you never you really see it, especially being on that pace there. But I think he's got to be pretty happy with the run he's finished in this position here.
So this is an interesting refight route. You'd want to do Dust last because there's unavoidable that you have to do the machine fight last, because so you stay in ring.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of that maybe it's just more of like a health thing, so you have enough health to do the damage boost if you need to against Dust.
Yeah, certainly when I was learning the game, I'd want to do the easier ones. I would want to do the harder ones if I had a lot of health at the end of a fight, and then if I was low on health, I would do an easier one just to get the refill.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's see how many dives we get here. Against the Zio here is on really good pace to beat their previous best run here in the heats, which is always awesome. Good way to close this heat out. And
oh, okay, that was scary.
Yeah. It's also just it's just a good showing in general, just for all these heats and all the, again, I can't say it enough how just just how amazed I am at the performance of all these runners this week. It's been really amazing to watch.
So it looked like he shot him with 2 lemons.
Yeah, this could be a
3
problem.
okay,
I think.
this is
Oh
a
no, he got
problem.
the.
This is a problem now, right here.
Yeah,
See, he was on 4.
yeah. There you go. Got 1 free. Oh, good thing he got shot there, because if Brightman jumped on him, that would have been a death. So wow, that was pretty close.
Yeah, it looked like he was gonna shoot him right before the freeze happened, but I guess he got his shot eaten by iframes.
Yeah,
He just charged right into Skull, man. That might be a good strat if you aren't worried about health.
He's trying to sneak a hit through the barrier there. I don't know if
Yeah,
he can actually...
you can do that to Starman, but not to Skullman.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think he could do that.
But I'm guessing he's not gonna fight Pharaoh with Dust, so he can just waste a few.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, this
At this point, I kind of want to see him fight Pharaoh with Bright, just for the memes.
maybe they're listening and they'll oh. Yeah, it's Dive Man is pretty fast, and it's pretty easy to get hit there. I think even still with that death, he's still on really good pace to beat his previous best time here.
Yeah, Dive is fast. Also, you're falling a lot slower, so it's just a new muscle memory for you to have timed, and so it's easy for him just to slip right under your feet as you're jumping. So if you jump too high, it's really hard to control where you're going to land relative to him sometimes, depending on when he starts his barrel roll.
Yeah, but I mean, you can definitely tell here with the Buster fight that he's completely comfortable with Dive Man's movement and his pattern there, because there's no issue there at all.
Shout out to sliding through teleporters.
All right, and so while Zio finishes up here, yeah, so this heat has been really incredible. We're gonna do a quick recap again one more time before we reach the end of this run here. So we'll start at the top there. We had Ahmad who finished in 8th place on the leaderboard with 38.29. Super consistent though. Finished a bunch of runs pretty close to that. So GG to Ahmad. Next we had Sarantian who finished with a 38.44, which is a new PB for them as well. So 10th place on the leaderboard for Sarantian, so GG to them as well. Next we had Polari, who is currently sitting in the 20th spot with I believe it was a 40.08. Finished that run with just minutes left in the heat too, so just coming in the clutch there, so GG to them. We had Von Rufio, who's currently sitting in the 28th spot with 41.12. The GG to them, and right behind them was HJA with a 41.16, which again just 10 seconds off PB. So GG to them as well.
Okay, he came into that fight with full Pharaoh. Did he fill it up at the beginning, or was there like a game over I missed? No, he game overed in Wily too. Now I remember. I was surprised to see so much Pharaoh.
Yeah, so we got the Wily Machine fight for Zio here.
He's doing really good on this phase. That drill was a bit early, but he stopped flashing right before it landed, so he got the fast fill. Good job. That was a really good fight.
Yeah, definitely on pace to beat their previous best time.
Yeah, as a commentator, I'm not hearing the ree.
Yeah, so just a quick reminder again. So the top 32 will be going into the Cossack Cup, which is the bracket part of the tournament that starts here on Speed Gaming on June 12th. So if you guys liked this action you've seen all week for Mega Man 4, be sure to tune back in. Starting June 12th, we'll see the bracket part. So the top 32 here will compete in best of 1 races up until the semifinals, where it will become best of 3. So judging by the quality of runs we've seen all week, it's going to be a good time. So. And also, if I heard randomizers mentioned earlier, if you guys are a fan of randomizers, coming up next here on Speed Gaming, we have Final Fantasy 1 randomizer.
Beautiful placement there. Wily just happened to spawn right on his orb, and then he was able to optimize, take advantage of that and get a double hit in.
Ooh, gets that hit in too.
it looks okay. Good. He reshot. It looked like the Wily spawn where it actually ate his half charge, and so if he would have like held that, he wouldn't it stops charging once the shot gets eaten, so it's easy to like accidentally be holding a half charge. And GG, that's a solid improvement on his time.
And just a few minutes off of his PB from 2012. So
he's back in it. Hopefully he stays with it.
Yeah.
Joins
All
our
right.
community.
So GG to Zio, and again, big GGs to everybody who competed in this heat, and really everyone who competed all week. We've seen some really incredible action here, and again, the bracket will start on June 12th here on Speed Gaming, so make sure to tune back in for that. Make sure to give all these runners follow if you'd like what you've seen today. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
A lot more Mega Man 4 in the future. This is great.
Yeah, just another quick thank you to Victress for joining me on commentary today. It was a lot of fun.
Sorry for that early hiccup, but we made it.
Yeah, thanks again to everybody at Speed Gaming for hosting us here, everyone behind the scenes. Shout outs again to Looking Toad for kind of getting the ball rolling on this tournament, and the other guys in the community who have been helping keeping everything organized. And yeah, stay tuned for some Final Fantasy 1 randomizer action.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in.